Hey, Rocky, how's it going? This is going to be a fun one. 400 laps. This is all good. This is going to be about survival. Well, we've done a lot of races at Nashville here in the ESS series, and Blake Bottoms has dominated pretty much every race that he's run. And then right behind him, usually, and winning a lot of races himself here was Chris Carroll. I think those guys have to be the kind of local favorites, but Tyler Shaduk, I think if or Shattuck, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Shattuck, Tyler Shattuck. I think he's going to be really quick. Might be the spoiler here, but Aaron Rodgers, Presley Sora. There's a lot of guys here that it's hard to bet against them. Yeah, I should have mentioned Parker in that list as well. He hasn't been doing these races in these cars at this track, but Parker's got 400 laps to figure this out, and I race with him quite a bit. And you never count Parker Brookfield out of any race that he's in. So I would expect him to figure this place out and lead some laps tonight. Yeah, he's looking good there. But look at Gary Smith right on him in qualifying, just a thousandth of a second off. And Blake Bottoms is right there as well. And those three cars are running three different setups. This is an open setup race tonight. These guys have been working on their setups for a while for this race. There's cash payout in this race. So there's a little bit of extra motivation there. And, I know I'm a teammate with Chris. And I know how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of laps they've put in to that setup and trying to, get a win tonight. So with that much preparation, right here before the race, a little bit of nerves sometimes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Always good to see both those guys running together. And track temp is 69 degrees. Hey, qualifying is important here. It's 400 laps. It's all about survival, and the easiest way to survive the wrecks or the incidents that'll happen when all the cars are bunched together here at the start is to be in front of all that contact. So I think these guys that are starting up front have an advantage. Everyone else, looks like only half the field is qualifying. Those guys are going to be in a hornet's nest here with this many laps in the race. A lot of the guys are going to be smart here and realize it's just about keeping the car clean here for the first 200 laps. But there's some people that they just don't know how to turn that switch off, and they're going to be going right from lap one. And you got to watch out for those guys. Testing, testing. I think they can, and they can only hear me, so it works out. Yeah, I'm not sure if we've got the audio fixed, and so I'm looking at the chat right now. It sounds like people can hear me. Can you all hear Rocky? Yeah, I'm not sure if we've got the audio fixed. I think it's only my audio that's coming through.
Okay, there we go. Finally, I think we got it fixed now. So darn settings. A little new at this, so bear with us, folks. Apologize. Okay, so yeah, we're getting ready to start up here. 400 laps at the historic Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Chris Carroll on the pole. Gary Smith qualifying second. Winston West experience, real life experience with Gary Smith. Aaron Rodgers starts third. Blake Bottoms fourth. Parker Brookfield, ringer out there, coming in, qualifying fifth. Thomas Graw, sixth. Brandon Sheffield, seventh. Bradley Yeo, eighth. Jeff Kendrick, ninth. And Larry Bell running out the top 10. So here we go for the pace laps. 400 laps at the historic Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
Yeah, these guys are just thinking about their fenders right now. How can I get through these opening laps without getting any damage? Just thinking about the car, thinking about their bladders. Did they? if you gotta go right now, you're gonna have a long night.
Yes, indeedy.
All right, lights are out on that pace car.
All right, we're one to go. Here we go for the start of 400 laps of close quarters racing. The drivers holding steady. What's your thoughts coming to the green in one of these long, long races?
If you're at the front, you're thinking about getting the lead. It's such an advantage at being in the lead. If you're in the middle, you're in the back. All you're thinking about is watching the guys ahead of you and trying to keep this thing clean.
Yeah, 21 car field, lots of cars out there for such a short track. So it'll be interesting how these guys work it out. Chris Carroll, though, nice start right off the bat.
Yeah, Gary Smith just did not go there, so 3 cars have already cleared him on the bottom.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers is around. Oh no, on lap 1, it looks like he catches Gary Smith. We're gonna take a look at that. Take a rewind
lap
back.
1 of a 400 lap race.
Wow.
That is the worst case scenario.
Exactly.
Rodgers and Smith have a lot of damage. Yo's got damage. Larry Bell. A lot of guys.
Unbelievable.
These cars are pretty tough, though. I don't think that Smith or Rodgers are out of this race at all.
No. I think as far as damage, it was fairly light. We'll go ahead and take a look at this from Larry's perspective. What do you think happened there with Aaron?
Uh, to me, it looks like probably not enough practice laps in that car. And these cars, they start with low air pressures. The tires are cold. You're tiptoeing those first couple laps, and it just looked like Aaron was not ready for the how loose the car is before the heat comes in the tires and the pressures build.
Yes, exactly. Also, kind of noticing it looked like Aaron kind of hit that bump coming out of two, which is kind of notorious here in Nashville for upsetting the car.
Yeah, damage not too bad on Blake's car. You can maybe ride along with Brad Yo there. You can see he locked up the brakes pretty hard with the brake bias. It kind of spun the car around. And Jeff Kendrick got just a little bit of that. But Blake, Yo, Kendrick, I don't think their damage is too bad.
Yeah, we're gonna take a drop back, look at front of Bradley Yo's car. Looks like some damage there. That's gonna affect the aero of it. Thomas Craw did also receive damage in
Yeah,
that.
Thomas got into the 43 of Larry Bell there. Thomas was just looking at Aaron Rodgers' car stopped in front of him, and there's just those guys were 4 or 5 wide on the back straightaway. But those are all low speed. That's all low speed contact. But I don't know. It's going to be tough. You think Aaron Rodgers is probably, does he have a race winning car anymore? Does Blake Bottoms, even with that little bit of damage, does he have a race winning car? But they also have 400 laps to fix these cars.
That is true. Yeah, nobody's out of this race just yet, as long as there was no engine damage on that. As we see, Gary Smith, Blake Bottoms, Bradley Yo, looks like Brian Zimmerman. They're all coming down. Now, one thing these guys have to worry about: they only have 4 sets of tires total, so they better make sure that those things have been checked off and they don't incidentally take tires this early.
Yeah, they need to just be fixing their damage. They're all going to get all their optional damage fixed before this race is over. So just be patient. They've got a long ways to go here. Rogers' car doesn't look terrible. I mean,
No.
the front end is beat up. It's not a race winning car anymore. I mean, fast forward to the end of the night, maybe he wins this, but I don't think that's a race winning car anymore.
Yeah, well, let's not count them out too early. We are only 5 laps into this 400 lap race. Now, one thing to point out for our audience, some of the rules here. We are going to have competition cautions. If we have a 80 laps consecutive green flag, we will be throwing a competition yellow out there. So currently, right now, if we go green with at lap 7 or lap 7 here, lap 87, we will throw a competition caution.
Yeah, it actually looked like Aaron went down a lap to get all of his optional repairs fixed. He did get all of them fixed.
Which is smart. Which is smart at this time. And Chris Carroll gets another great start. Oh, and we have one on the inside wall. Jeff Kendrick, even before getting to the white or green flag, is in the inside wall. We're not sure what happened there. We'll have to take note and check back at that here in a minute as we are racing. Oh, as you see, Brian Sheffield throwing a block on Tyler Shattuck. Pretty aggressive driving here this early.
Yeah, it's way too early to be damaging these cars right here. And that's what I said, that there's just some guys that can't turn that switch off and pace around, tiptoe around for a little bit.
Yeah, I got to point out Tyler Shattuck started 12th or 8th on the or 12th on the field. He's already up 9 positions since the start, so he's going for that hard charger award. As we come around here to complete lap 9, Chris Carroll running about a 0.4 of a second lead over Parker Brookfield. And Parker Brookfield starting to feel the pressure from Tyler.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to see Carroll and Brookfield running nose to tail in some order this entire race, as is often common. And look at that, Shaduk got a real loose there out of 4.
Yeah, again, very easy to do at this track. If you come high off of those turns, it seems like with that elevated banking, some of the bumps, it really upsets the car.
Yeah, he's looking a little bit quicker than the 26 right now.
Yeah,
but he's getting into the corner a little better, a little bit through the center there, but he's losing it on exit, and it's hard to complete a pass if you're unless you're faster on exit.
Definitely, and you know how long it looks like Brand Sheffield's starting to move up there as well, maybe applying pressure to the 37.
Yeah, if I know Carroll and Brookfield, they're likely, they're thinking they're going to have these tires on for at least 100 laps or more, and it's all about pacing yourself right now using your tires effectively across a run. And sometimes if a guy wants to push hard, you let him go.
It's very important, but yeah, it looks like this top four is really starting to close into each other. Thomas Grau is out on an island on his own, and then following that, Mark Mitchum in the Days of Thunder inspired pace scheme back there.
Yeah, really good battle right here between the top four right now.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be interesting how they maintain this pace. I mean, this is basically a mini super late model enduro. Pushing it this hard, are we going to see these top four there at the end?
I think so. It depends on really how hard they're all pushing. When you look at the way that Carroll and Brookfield are floating it into the corner real nice, they're getting all their drive off on exit, and they're really taking care of that right front tire. When you see Shattuck kind of gain a car length there on entry, he's using a little bit more of that right front. Now, is he using more tire, or is the setup just a little bit better? That's what we're going to find out over the run.
That is a very good question. You know, the top two, they're your teammates in A51. You have Tyler Shattuck with LeDuc Matthew. You have Brian Sheffield with Team eSPEED Sport. And then you have Thomas Grau at A51. You have a good mix of teams up here out front, especially early on.
Yeah, that's right. Mitchum just caught the wall there out of two. Blake Bottoms is around him, as well as Jason Jackson. So Mitchum going backwards right now.
Yeah, we'll take a step back and kind of evaluate Mitchum as he is running that eye line.
Yeah, he's
It
just
really
letting
affect
people
him, and
by
he
at
is
this point.
going very, very backwards. It's very hard when you're out of line here in Nashville. You're just kind of set up for failure.
Yeah, I think he caught the wall and realized that he doesn't need to be racing here on lap 19 with this long to go, and I think he just kind of let this hornet's nest by.
Makes perfect sense, and looks like Gary Smith has gotten his car righted and moving his way back up.
Yeah, that's right. And then really the one we want to watch for later on too is Aaron Rodgers. He is down one lap right now, so he's just riding around waiting for that lucky dog, waiting for a caution.
Yeah, this is a very hard track without that caution to gain your lap back. So it'll be interesting how he manages that going forward. But it's a
Right?
very long race. Tyler Shattuck making a move for second. Is that
Yeah,
more Parker letting the rabbit go and use up his tires, or do you think that's uh, that's Tyler flexing his muscle?
no, I think Tyler, he got the nose on him. He got on exit, and once he got a nose on Parker, Parker wasn't going to battle 2 by 2 and waste his tires doing that. So once Shattuck got his nose there, Parker let him go, and then look at Shattuck close that gap between Brookfield and Carroll for the lead, and he's looking for the lead as the 37 car.
Yeah, currently right now, the fastest car on the track by about a tenth of a second. Last lap was a 17.9. Our leader ran an 18 flat, followed by the rest of the top five running about an 18 flat. So right now, the 37 looking like the class of the field as he approaches the leader.
Yeah, let's watch his line in 1 and 2. Look at how deep he's driving and getting that big diamond, double apexing it, and then trying to get that drive off. And he gains that half car length right there on entry, but then he loses a little bit on exit. But right now he's gaining more than he's losing. Parker's dropped back about a half a second from Shattuck. So looks like Chris is picking up his pace a little bit. Parker is in full save mode.
Yeah, it's been a really great battle so far. Looks like Brandon's also kind of slipped back, and that gap is evened out between the top five competitors, with Thomas Kraus still lurking out there in the background.
Yeah, best battle on the track is for the lead right now here. Only 25 laps in, so a long way to go.
Yeah, and these two have battled before. If any of you have participated in eSpeed Sport races, these two actually in the short track series had a great battle at Lanier in the Super Late Model Series there, with Shattuck getting the win in that 75 lap event. But Chris Carroll held him off for quite a while.
Yeah, Chris is doing exactly what he wants to do. When you're in the lead, you can run your own race. You can kind of dictate how hard you make the guy behind you push. Chris has done a lot of runs on these tires on the setup. He knows exactly what it's going to do over a run. So he's really dictating terms right now.
Yeah, he really is. And, as these top two are now approaching lap traffic, it looks like that's the 62 of Jeff Kendrick who hit the wall on that last restart.
Yeah, he's got to, just kind of find his rhythm here. It's a long race. If you lose a lap, you lose 2 laps. There's going to be some opportunities to get that back. So just get the car repaired, find your line. This is an open setup race, so these guys can kind of adjust on their cars if needed.
Exactly. Yeah. Wait for that competition yellow, which is roughly 57 laps away. Looks like Kendrick's going to give a lot of space here. Jeff Kendrick mentioned a word about him. He is from osracing.net. It's good to see him out here. I am big appreciative, or very appreciative of what he brings to iRacing, offering a open source setup website as well as some great resources when it comes to setup. So I'll give a plug to osracing.net for anybody that's new to iRacing.
Yeah, that's great. Gave the leaders a lot of room as they came by. Next car that would go a lap down is Kyle Martinson. He's about 5 seconds ahead of the leaders right now, and Martinson's running 17th.
Yeah, and these leaders are quickly approaching as they have set a blistering pace. These top two are going to be the class of the field.
Yeah, I'm looking kind of at the lap times right now, and the guys that are running at the back part of the lead lap, they're running about 3/10 slower than these leaders. And in an 18-second lap time, 3/10 is an eternity.
Definitely, and we'll take a look at some of those cars that they are currently approaching. Whoops. Weird. Uh, well, we'll drop back here to Parker Brookfield. That's a new paint scheme for Parker. Don't usually see him in red and white like that. Great looking car there.
I believe Chris painted that car as well last year, and that's a real good looking car.
Oh, definitely. We got Brandon Sheffield here running in fourth, running his signature green and silver paint scheme. As we fall back through the field, you got Thomas Graw running fifth here in the 84 car. Still working with a little bit of damage, but he's hanging in there as far as running this race. Taking another step back, you got Brian Zimmerman running sixth. Aaron Rodgers, crew chief. What's going through Zimmy's head since his boss man is run so far back? Do you think he's ribbing him at all?
I hope he is. He should be.
Again, we
Probably
have
giving him some trivia questions if I know him.
yeah.
The battle is heating up for the lead right now. Shattuck is on Chris Carroll's bumper here every entry.
All right, we'll jump ahead over to Tyler Shattuck as he is closing in on Chris Carroll, and they are running up against some lap traffic with Mark Mitchum and Kyle Martinson.
I'd love to go on board with Shattuck. Let's see. Maybe we can see how he's driving this track.
All right, we are on board with Tyler Shattuck running the driver cam here, and as you can see, he is running this little bit lower line than Chris Carroll. Looks like Carroll's running up the track a little bit, and then Tyler's cutting it down a little bit lower.
Yeah, you wonder why is that where the car wants to run, right on that first seam where Chris Carroll is about a quarter car width above that first seam. Is he doing that to just look?
Oh, making a move. Does Chris let him? This is where it gets tough. That runoff of turn 4. Oh, Shattuck is loose. Wow, good save by Shattuck, but man, that was a risky maneuver here with 41 laps in.
Yeah, he just got real tight off of 4. He caught Carroll's left rear. Chris was right up against the wall. I think Shattuck just kind of drifted out a little bit more than he wanted to, and then lost a little traction in the rears. He saved it. No damage, no foul. And now he's just got to regroup. He's got to cool those tires down.
Yeah, what's that do to those tires? How much does that hurt them for the long run?
On the new tire model, what it does is it sort of heats up the tires. So it doesn't take a lot of tread off them. So it doesn't hurt you for the long run if you cool your tires down. But we look at that. Look at the Shattuck going into turn 1. He's sliding the car on entry. So he's not cooling the tires down. So right now he's got tires that are a little bit hotter. And hotter tires, they wear faster. So he's got to be careful here.
Yeah, one thing though, if he is running a little bit tighter car, having a little bit warmer rears might loosen it up, and it definitely, as it kind of hangs out the rear right there in that turn, looks like it's loosened that thing a little bit.
Yeah, he's running a very much more of a diamond, a double apex line versus Chris. Chris is going in high and doing a late apex on exit. So you see him floated in right on that white line, and then he's going to cut down. He's doing that on both sides of the track, and that's really kind to the tires. And watch Shattuck here. He'll dive it in really low, and then let that car drift up, and then smash the throttle on exit. And so two very, very different lines. I'm going to guess that Shattuck's car is a little bit tighter. You would run that line if you're a little bit tighter. And I think Chris is a little bit looser, a little bit more on the edge. So we'll see. I think that's why Shattuck likes running a little bit lower, because that car is tighter.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like Tyler gets a run getting into the corner, but Chris extends that lead coming out. Right now, still 0.2 of a second between the two. It'll be interesting to see as we come up 40 laps until the competition yellow at lap 87 if this thing goes green the rest of the way.
This is a great battle. This was an awesome battle for the lead, and I think it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we could say that, okay, Shattuck is using up his tires a little bit, diving it on entry, but if you can get the lead, you can dictate turns. It's worth spending your tire to go get that lead and be able to control the restarts. And Chris he can go into those corners really slow and leave the bottom open, because if Shattuck gets underneath them, it's going to be really hard for Shattuck to complete that pass on exit. So you can do a lot more as the leader than you can in second. So I don't blame Tyler for really going for it if he feels like he's got a window.
Yeah, the bottom lane here at Nashville is one of the most treacherous things. Really easy to get a nose under somebody, but the way these drivers have to cut it down on exit, you run that risk of making that contact or losing the rear like Tyler did earlier. But here they do, coming up on lap traffic again of Jeff Kendrick running that wounded number 62 car around here. Oh, Tyler trying to peek to the outside. Not quite there.
You can use that lap car. That lap car is going to change the guy in front of you's line, and you can try to use that to put your nose somewhere that's unexpected and then make a pass.
Exactly. So we got some more lap traffic coming up. It looks like Larry Bell, the next car that's in danger of going a lap down, followed by Robbie Harpins and then Joe LaFillip.
Yeah, but I think all these guys going a lap down right now, they're thinking about, when this competition caution comes out, will they be taking a wave around? Will they be pitting and racing to be the lucky dog driver? That's what's going through their mind right now.
Well, and that calls into some of the tire strategy. You have 4 sets of tires for a 400-lap race. The competition caution comes out at lap 87. You're almost bound to have to take tires. But does that sacrifice taking tires later in the race?
Yeah. You need to be on the lead lap, but you probably aren't desperate yet with 350 to go.
Yeah, the strategy is going to be key and in play.
These leaders are changing their lines right now. Chris got real loose off turn 2. I'm noticing Chris is now entering lower. He's entering on that seam rather than the white dotted line. So he's changing his line. His tires are going away, and Shattuck is...
Oh, Shattuck making a move to the inside here.
3 wide here for a moment.
Larry backs out. Oh, Tyler cannot. He gets tied off and cannot complete the pass.
Yeah, the lap car kind of forces Chris to run a little bit lower there, and so Shattuck is entering and exiting right on that yellow line, and as we know, there's just no grip down there.
And these guys got to be worried. It looks like Parker Burkfield is slowly making his way into contention.
Yeah, Chris has changed his line, so he's used his stuff up. His tires don't feel the way that they did earlier. He's right on that seam on entry. He's basically running the line Shattuck was earlier. That makes me think his right front's kind of going away to be entering a little bit lower like that. So I think that car is starting to go away, which, you got to use your tires to stay in the lead. And Parker's been back there watching these guys battle, so maybe he's got the freshest tires of the 3.
Yeah, and we have Mark Mitchum dropping to the apron to let these leaders by. Not usual move for a lap car to get out of the way that way. They usually take the high line. How much does that change your focus when you're in a battle for the lead like this?
A lot. It almost seemed like Mitchum was trying to get to pit road and miss pit road right there. But if you are Shattuck, you're Carroll, you are worried that lap car is going to hit the barrel at the end of pit road and shoot right onto the track and end the race early. So I think Mitchum just missed pit road there.
Yeah, it's the leader's approach. Robbie Harpins, no relation, except that he's my brother. In the 11 car, having a little bit of a rough night. Robbie running in 14th, a little bit off the pace, but as he drifts way up to avoid the leaders.
Yeah, sometimes the lap cars are being trying to be so nice to the leaders, they end up running weird lines or doing weird things, and getting sometimes even the leaders in trouble because you're trying your hardest to give them room, and you end up ends up there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's talk about let's. Oh, as Tyler, you almost want to talk about some of the other battles, but this one up front has just been so good. With
Yeah,
Tyler running neck and neck with Chris Carroll.
that's the battle on the track right now. We'll have plenty of time there's a lot of guys out here, and there's other races going on. But when you got a battle for the lead like this has been a dogfight for 63 laps, and we're talking there's over 300 laps to go, and these guys have been running hard lap after lap already, right from the start.
Exactly, and again, they have pulled away from Parker Brookfield as Parker falls back to 4.3 seconds from the leader.
I've got him. I got him back 1.7.
Oh, Parker. Yep, I am sorry. I looked at Brandon Sheffield, who's still running in fourth. I apologize. Joe
Yep.
LaPhillippe running his line, maybe making it a little bit harder on the leaders, not just moving over like some of the other cars.
Yeah, he's running pretty low here. That's going to make it real tough on Chris. That's going to give a big
Oh,
opportunity for
as Joe
Tyler.
hits tags the wall right in front of Tyler Shattuck.
Yeah, that's the danger of running hard, trying to keep your lap, and then like the worst thing you can do is again like that's just what I was saying. You end up trying a little hard, doing other things, and you end up messing up, and then you end up messing up the battle for the lead. So Joe smartly there is backed off, and probably won't see that again from him the rest
Yeah.
of the race.
Well, and these cars are now so aerosensitive with the recent iRacing updates that getting any type of damage like that's really going to affect the car in the long run.
Yeah, you're talking before we get into more of these lap cars. I just want to do give an update on Gary Smith. Started second place and was involved in that lap one wreck, and he's riding around in 10th. So we'll see if he gets back up there before the race is over.
Yeah, really unfortunate. I thought he had a strong car to take that early damage from the spin of Aaron Rodgers.
Race leaders are looking at a wad of lap traffic. Can you remind us again what lap the competition caution would be coming out on?
Yes, competition caution will be coming out in about 18 laps. By my estimate, will be lap 87 as they approach again the 62 of Jeff Kendrick, who's going to be falling down 3 laps down.
So, I mean, only 18 more laps or so until the competition caution. These guys that are at the tail end of the lead lap, can you hang on for that long? I think they have a little bit of urgency, and they might run these leaders a little bit tighter.
Exactly, as they are now approaching the 38 again of Mark Mitchum and the 86 of Jason Jackson. So it'll be interesting to see if these guys put up a fight as we get nearer and nearer the competition caution, or do you let them go and just try to hold the Lucky Dog spot?
Yeah, I mean, if you've gone multiple laps down, that changes your calculus. You're thinking waves, or you're just thinking about you're going to be running a lap down this race, and so one lap down you can make that up. Two lap down it starts getting really difficult.
As you also see the 00 of Blake Bottoms right there. That was one of the cars that you picked out as being a fast one, but it looks like that damage from that early incident has really set Blake back.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to get any more damage fixed, or can do some adjustments. These guys can adjust on the track bar and the tire pressures, and so it's been a while here. They're just learning what their cars can do, and it's a bummer when you get trapped a lap down when you're still kind of figuring your car out. But there could be a lot of adjustments still, and we might see different players up front before the race is over.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not even a quarter of the way through this race, and that's going to be really the long run aspect of it. I mean, Chris and Tyler, it could take one slip up, and both those cars could be greatly impacted.
Yeah, we'll be in watching track temp and air temp and things like that as the sun sets. Track's just a few degrees warmer than it was at start. That's just the cars driving on the track. And here we go. Chris has found the lap traffic.
As he makes a move under the 86 of Jason Jackson, who also has that right front damage. Looks like another one that was impacted by that early caution.
Yeah, they're getting through the lap cars real efficiently. Let's see. I'm curious to see if Blake really puts up a fight here. I would hope that he does here.
Yeah, with 10 laps left going to it, can he hang on for that either the lucky dog spot or to stay on the lead lap?
Looks
Oh,
like
he
Bob's
makes a
letting him
move.
go.
He decides to stay out of it. So it'll be down to him and Jason Jackson most likely for that lucky dog spot.
I like that move. I think he's going to get the lucky dog here. The next car in front of them is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron's already one lap down, so you have to go all the way up to Gary Smith, who's a few seconds ahead, to find the next lap car. I think we're going to get our competition caution before they get to Gary Smith. That's a guess, but if that's the case, then that's great news for Blake Bottoms. He would get the lucky dog. As Shattuck is looking here, he's ready to pounce.
Yeah, close quarters there with Tyler Shattuck. We're gonna try, hopefully not curse, but we're gonna try and jump on board with Tyler and see if we can uh, watch him as well. And then he backs off and loses a couple tenths right there.
Yeah, he got loose there out of two. He's going for it. He's driving with everything he's got, and he's trying to generate a run. It's so difficult. And if he knows he could just get to Chris's left rear, then he'd have a chance to make that pass. It's so hard to generate that run. You're trying to get on the throttle as hard as you can on exit and not lose the car. And so you got to just take chances.
Yeah, as we can kind of see, he is feathering that throttle off and way loose coming out of that, coming off the corner.
Hey, we're at the end of this tire run, so use it. Spend whatever you have right now. Top two are walking away from third and everyone else right now. This is a two-car race in this first run.
Yeah, it looks like Parker Brookfield has fallen 2.6 seconds back at this point.
A couple updates here. Joe LaFilla, we saw him get the wall there with the leaders. He did disconnect from this race, as well as Mark Mitchum. They're pretty far off the pace, and I don't think they wanted to spend 300 more laps getting lapped like that.
Yeah, with the limited adjustments that they have on these cars, missing the mark on this open setup, you're not going to really be able to adjust out of that. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's going to be a race of attrition. We're going to lose guys in this long of a race. There's not going to be probably be half the cars running that started, and we're now down to 16.
Yeah, this is definitely an endurance race, as we're not even a quarter of the way into this. Aaron Rodgers putting up a fight, trying to stay only one lap down.
Look at him covering the bottom there. He's saying, Chris, you're going to have to pass me on the top. And if Chris goes to the top, Shattuck's going to go to the bottom. But Aaron does not want to go 2 laps down. 2 laps down is difficult. And, Aaron goes up the track out of 3 and 4. Can Chris get underneath him?
Yeah, this is it's Chris ends up falling back in line. And there's the yellow competition caution. Aaron Rodgers catches a break there.
Great job by Aaron. He might have just saved his race right there.
No doubt.
And he has a chance of, 1 lap down, you can get lucky dogs. You can hope for cautions. 2 laps down, your race is over.
Exactly. And, when with these competition cautions, that's going to bunch the field back up. Looks like Blake Bottoms caught a break there as well, remaining in that lucky dog spot.
Yep, we're going to have 11 cars on the lead lap, and so we got a sense. Okay, that's the pace these leaders are going to run over 80 laps. If you got lapped or in danger of getting lapped there, you got to pick your pace up.
Well, we'll take a look to see if these leaders decide to pit here. I'd imagine with 4 tire sets, they have to at this point. As we do see, looks like everybody coming in that is currently on the lead lap.
Yeah, everyone on the lead lap right here is going to be getting 4 tires, filling the tank up.
As we watch the pit stop of Tyler Shattuck, second place currently. We move up.
All the guys in the lead lap, they've done a good job of just staying on the lead lap. They're feeling the cars out. You don't need to be in this 2-car battle for the lead. I think there's some other guys that'll join this battle late in the race, but right now we have 11 cars on the lead lap, and I think those guys are obviously all still in contention as Chris wins the battle off the pit road pretty easily.
Yeah, Parker Brookfield comes out in second. What adjustments are you making at this point in the race to after you've settled in?
Well, the track temperature hasn't moved. You've gotten your damage fixed if you're in that lap 1 wreck. So that might have changed how your car's handling. So, it really just depends on how you're feeling. and making those adjustments as needed. But track temp hasn't moved, so you're probably adjusting for whatever damage that you have. Some damage. A lot of that damage that, let's say, Aaron has, that car's probably really tight, so he's probably making adjustments to loosen it up.
And it looks like, by my count, looks like Gary Smith did finally pit, but he was showing him the leader. He may have taken one extra lap around since he was there at the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, you're right on the nose, kind of on, will you lose a lap taking 4 tires and fuel? So it kind of makes sense if you're way at the back of the tail end of the lead lap, but you just go around one extra time. You've got nothing to lose. You'll be less likely to lose a lap getting your fuel and tires.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick thing through the field to take a look at some of our competitors that are in the top 10 and just came out of those pit stops. Chris Carroll is your leader. Whoop, wrong button. Parker Brookfield there in second. Brian Sheffield held strong. He's been running third or fourth. He's now moved up after that pit stop into fourth place. Tyler Shattuck, a little bit of a slow stop, maybe the result of starting so back in the field. Not the best pit stall, as he was right in the middle as we go one to go. The rest of your top 10, Brian Zimmerman in fifth. He's moved up as well as Agnell Phillip, who's right now the hard charger, moving up 15 spots. Then you have Bradley Yell in seventh. Presley Sora running the eSPEED Sport colors in eighth. Then Thomas Graw, who's dropped back based on that pit stop, down to ninth. And Robbie Hartfence in, Blake Bottoms. And we're green.
Look at Brian Zimmerman trying to make a move for fourth right there.
But he ends up falling in line behind Tyler Shattuck. Tyler Shattuck has some work to do to get back around Brandon Sheffield. And Parker Brookfield, as Robbie loses it back there and into, looked like Aaron Rodgers was collected in that.
Yeah, he was. Robbie lost out turn 2, got into Aaron. Not too much damage on Aaron's car. Robbie took a big hit on the inside wall. He's got some damage. Honestly, what happened to Aaron right there, that's what happened to Aaron on the first lap, just kind of cold tires and hitting that bump out of 2.
Yeah, we'll play that back as Robbie was on the outside of Larry Bell and just running way too high on the line, comes off and hits that bump. And there he goes around and collects Aaron Rodgers.
Watch Gary. Maybe we can do an onboard with Gary Smith there on that miss. He did a great job missing Robbie there.
We'll jump in there with Gary Smith here. As you see there, coming out, and then Robbie shooting back up the track, just barely missing Aaron. So I believe that's, with Aaron actually collecting damage, he is not going to get the lucky dog. Looks like maybe Larry Bell is the recipient of the lucky dog this time. That's double unfortunate for Aaron Rodgers, who was really looking forward to that lucky dog spot.
Larry Bell is pitting. I don't understand. I don't think he's taken his lucky dog.
I believe he's still on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken. He took the lucky dog, he was still on the lead lap that last time around.
Okay, I've got him scored 1 lap down.
You do? Okay, gotcha.
I think he didn't take his lucky dog there. Maybe he wasn't aware that he was the lucky dog candidate there.
Oh, wow, that's a unfortunate mistake on his part. It's tough to gain those laps back on this short track, especially with how clean the racing has been thus far. But as they say, cautions breed cautions.
I'm looking at that accident again, and Larry Bell might have just barely gotten a piece of that wreck, and so maybe iRacing did not give him the lucky dog.
Oh, man, that's going to really affect those two competitors well. And looks like Mark Mitchum, Joe LaPhillip, and Kyle Martinson have all disconnected. We might not have a lucky dog this go around.
Yeah, I'm watching Jeff Kendrick to see if maybe he would get it, but yeah, it doesn't look like we're having a lucky dog. And in this race, there's not going to be that many cautions, likely. These guys aren't all trying to wreck each other because there's 5 laps to go. There's a long way to go. Guys are trying to run safe right now. So it's a real missed opportunity for Rodgers, Bell, even Hartpence, that they did not, this is a caution where somebody should be getting a lucky dog, and nobody was able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's going to keep them pinned 1 lap or more down. So Unfortunate, but a lot of racing to go. We have 302 laps left in this 400 mile event, or
Yeah, we'd be
400 lap event.
getting the green on lap 99, so it'll be 80 laps. So 179 would be our competition caution if we don't get another one. Watching Shattuck here and Zimmerman and Sheffield, those guys have had a lot of fun on these restarts. They've been pretty wild.
Yeah, what's it? Tell me about these lines here at Nashville. What is it like restarting on the inside versus the outside as we go green? Chris Carroll off to a great restart. Parker Brookfield moves down for second.
Yeah, I'm watching Sora right there. He's getting underneath Zimmy. He's looking to maybe get top 5 for this runs over. And Agnell's 94 car, man, that thing is looking sharp. It's a lot of good battles back in the field here.
Yeah, as we watch the leaders, Chris Carroll and Parker Brookfield. Tyler Shattuck not making a move just yet, just riding there in fourth place. Do you think he waits there, lets the tires work out, or do you think he makes, well, as I say that, here he goes under Brandon Sheffield for third.
Yeah, he's ready to go. The first two, those guys are teammates, Parker and Chris. So
Brandon Sheffield gets way loose and out of line. It looks like he gathers it back up.
Yeah, Brandon, he's got the leaders right in front of him, and he's driving really, really hard. But I think he's in a really good spot. Brandon's got great track position. Just keep the car clean. Stay right where you're at. No need to overdrive the car right now.
Yeah, he's got no pressure as there's still a little bit of a gap between Agnell and Brandon Sheffield. We'll fall back to this battle here for fifth between.
Battle for lead here. Parker looking underneath Chris.
Yep, we got a battle for the lead. Parker trying to take that spot.
Not there. It's so difficult to pull this pass off unless Chris lets him go. It's so hard to get that exit.
And in that moment, Tyler Shattuck now trying to pick which line he wants to go with. Does he follow through with Brookfield on bottom? Can Carroll hold it?
We have a new leader.
Parker Brookfield.
Parker Brookfield. And Shattuck might be going to second right here. Chris is not able to hold that outside line.
No, he is not like he did before, but he's still putting up a heck of a fight. As we get back there, as Tyler finally completes the pass on Chris Carroll.
Well, he's been looking at the back of Chris's car for 100-something laps, and now Tyler's setting his sights on Parker.
Yeah, but at this point, trading one A5 for another, Tyler Shattuck's probably sixth running second right now.
Yeah, he wants to get up in the lead. He wants to be able to control this race, but it looks like Parker's just woken up.
Yeah, it looks like finally that 100 laps of just cooling, keeping the tires cool and running through these fresh tires. He is making his move and running up front.
I mean, Chris Carroll's a heady racer. He's sitting back there in third. I think he was going to watch these guys burn their tires up and see if he's back there. But right now, we've got another good battle for the lead. And Tyler, again, going for the lead. Can he get the pass done? He wasn't able to do it in the first quarter of the race. Now we're in kind of second quarter. Let's see how things have changed.
Yeah, driving this hard for 100 laps. Can you exhaust yourself out with a 400-lap race at this pace?
Absolutely. We're in the middle portion of this race now as Tyler goes for the lead here into turn 3.
Oh, he dives it in there. Can he make it stick as they come off of 4? Brookfield giving him plenty of room, but he gets that drive off.
Yeah, he gained a half car length there. He can gain another half car length here. He's in good shape. He gets a little bit tight there in the middle of 1 and 2.
Exactly. This is a great side-by-side battle for the lead. Looks like Tyler might just be a little bit stronger in that low line as he clears Parker Brookfield.
Yeah, really good pass right there. Just kind of on that bottom lane, gaining about a quarter car length, third of a car length each time as Brandon Sheffield going for third here.
Yeah, we're going to drop back as Brandon Sheffield makes his move. Decides to duck back in line behind Chris Carroll.
Yeah, Chris is looking like he's struggling right here. Is he saving or is he struggling? Is Parker going for the lead in turn 1?
As we go back up front here, Parker running neck and neck with Tyler Shattuck. Pressuring him, looks like Chris, a little bit loose, especially off. I think he just tagged the wall with that rear.
Yeah, we'll have to check in on that, but I'm curious, is Parker showing his nose? Is he trying to get Tyler to drive his car hard, or is Parker really going to try to make a move for the lead here? When you just got past, that guy's a little bit quicker than you. Sometimes trying to dive in and make another pass is a real good way to ruin your tires.
Exactly, and just taking a look at the speeds, with the sun starting to set here at Nashville, our top 4 have ran their fastest laps of the day, with Tyler Shattuck running a 17.8. Parker Brookfield a 17.90. Chris Carroll a 17.96, and Brian Sheffield a 17.99. So as the track gets faster, it looks like these guys are pushing it a little bit more and more.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's the sun setting. The track temp is right now 70. It was 72 in the middle of the last run. I think a lot too is the rubber being built up. You can actually visually see it on the track, a little bit more rubber in the lanes, and that changes the way your car drives. So this race is a very different complexion as Parker is right on Shattuck's bumper right now.
Oh man, yeah, applying the pressure as we have our third leader of the day, Tyler Shattuck, taking over the lead. Parker Brookfield not letting up though in second, not letting him out of his crosshairs.
Yeah, I checked on Chris's damage. There is no damage on Chris Carroll's car, so he's either struggling or he's saving.
Yeah, at this point, do you think maybe Chris made an adjustment that just went the wrong way, or do you think again he knows this is a 400 lap race? Let these kids go tire themselves out.
I think both of those are plausible for sure. And also, Chris is in the lead. When you're in the lead and you have clean air, the car drives one way. Once you lose that lead and you're around other cars, your car drives really differently. So he's got to now figure. He ran that entire first run in the lead, and now he's got to drive it a little bit different.
Yeah, and we're taking a look at Chris Carroll. He has definitely been loose coming off the quarter, especially off of two from what it looks like. That last lap round, he really hung it sideways.
Yeah, and you're not hanging it sideways when you're saving. And as Tyler is sort of opening up a gap here on Parker Brookfield.
Yeah, a little bit. He has moved to 4/10 of second lead. Uh, let's see if Tyler can actually stretch this thing out as we're in the what would be the second quarter of this 400 lap race.
Yeah, they're all racing to lap 179 right now. It's still 60 laps away. And if you don't feel like you can catch the guy ahead of you, if you can just find yourself a comfortable little place to run, I mean, the guys that finish this race well will be the guys that finish this race. And that goes for everybody in the top 10 right now. Not all of them are going to run mistake free for the next 300 laps. So I think right now is find that little pocket in the track, find that lap time that you can run over and over again, and get to the next competition caution.
Yeah, and at this point, I think it's a good time to maybe drop back in the field and take a look at some of these other battles and see where everybody's stacking up as we drop back to our former leader, Chris Carroll, running third with Brian Sheffield closing in behind. These two have a bit of a history running eSpeed Sport as Brian Sheffield really hangs it out sideways. Both of these have been really good competitors in the eSpeed Sport League.
I think Brandon's got to be really happy with where he is right now. He's running fourth place in a strong field. There's a long way to go, and I hope he's able to keep that thing pointed straight here for the rest of the race.
Yeah, top five for him in this Hornets nest of drivers would be great on the resume of Brandon Sheffield. We'll take a step back over to Brian Zimmerman, who's also been running strong in the top five, top 10 all day. Zimmy from Alabama, big Davey Allison fan.
Yeah, he's looking real sharp here. He's, just, again, put the whole race together. I think he's got to be really happy running fifth right now.
So we'll step back another step to sixth place, Presley Zora. Currently in the lead not in the lead. That would be you, Nate Jurgensen, points leader of the ESS Stock Car Series. But one of your main competitors is Presley Zora, the young man from Indiana. What do you think about this kid?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously very fast. Won the championship in one of the series last year. And we always see him up front. I don't know if he drives these cars that often. I think this is a change of pace for him, and still running in six. We usually see him running top two or three or leading the race, but I think he's running in six right now, learning the car, learning the track, and we'll see if he gets up even further ahead by the end of the race.
And I have to give him credit. That is one good-looking car with the best name on it. All right, we'll take a step back. Thomas Graw. He's actually one of the organizers of this event, Nashville native himself, and has actually worked at Nashville Fairgrounds Raceway in the past, and also a recent addition to A51.
Yeah, he runs as Chris Carroll's spotter in Road to Pro, and this whole race is his brainchild. We're here doing this because of him, so shout out to him. But he's got his back bumper full of another car right now. This is one of the better battles on the track.
Yeah, exactly. That's Winston West veteran Gary Smith. caught up in that unfortunate incident early on. Our outside pole sitter had a rough start, considering he fell back in the pack and then got caught up in that early incident.
Yeah, started second and did not get a good restart or initial start on the race. Lost 3 spots right on the initial start, and then have a car right coming out of 2 get into you. And you just wonder if he would have just got that initial start of the race a little bit better, would he be up there battling for the lead?
Exactly, but he's made a nice recovery considering he's currently running in 8th place. Another recent addition to A51, Agnel Phillip. Is it Phillip or Philippe? Can you correct me on this?
Philip.
Phillip, Agnel Phillip, running that 94 car. He actually restarted, if I'm not mistaken, either 5th or 6th, but has now fallen back to the 9th position.
Yeah, again, as in somebody else who doesn't run a lot of late model stuff and is a little bit of fish out of water and learning. You got a long time to learn in this race, and I think that's what he's doing. He's keeping the car clean. It's a good-looking car, and we'll see if this driver from Brooklyn, New York, can end up in the top 5 before this thing is over.
Brooklyn, New York, and super late models is usually not something that you hear much of. All right, we go to another Canadian, Bradley Yo. This is crew chief for our second place competitor, Parker Brookfield. Yo, in a strong showing, running in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, he's running in 10th. He got a lot of damage there on that initial accident. But the concern here is what do we have? Still about 40 more laps in this run. We're only halfway through this run. He's almost 10 seconds behind the leader. The leader's running 18-second lap times. His pace right now has got him in trouble of maybe going a lap down before the end of this run.
Yeah, it's something to definitely be concerned with. Trying to stay on the lead lap as these competition yellows come out, or at least the lucky dog spot. We fall back to darn
Jason
Papa.
Jackson has lost it. He's wrecked in 2.
Oh, we are. Oh, Gary Smith sideways. We will get to Jason as he's setting in. This is will be a big boon to some of these competitors. We're going to take a step back and see what happened to Jason here.
Yeah, he just lost it out of 2. He was the last car on the lead lap, and I think wanting to pick up his pace a little bit, and just lost out of 2 and wrecked it. And also Blake Bottoms has disconnected.
Oh, one of our early strong. Yeah, he just lost in that same spot. Oh, and plows the wall with that front end. That's gonna really hurt that super late model motor. I think that's gonna knock it down from the 550 horsepower that these things usually run. He does get it fired up and driven away as he lets the field go by. Not the way you want to be pointing here at Nashville Speedway. Ooh. Well, I'm glad this made the broadcast. Jason, if you're watching back later, we caught that. So, we'll jump ahead to our leaders as well as go back live here.
Yeah, they're pitting. Parker will come out in the lead here. Aaron Rodgers will get the lucky dog back on the lead lap.
Sorry, 1 second. Trying to fix our timing and scoring here.
So Tyler Shattuck actually stays out on this caution with Brookfield and Carroll coming into pits, and Brandon Sheffield also stays out.
You know, at this time, I mean, if you've already used one set of tires and you haven't quite put that second 100 laps, is pitting now this early that advantageous, or saving a set for later?
It'll be interesting. Now we've got guys on different strategies for sure. Gary Smith also stayed out on that caution.
You know, for me, it kind of makes sense having that extra set of tires in your back pocket, but we'll see how it works with some of these racers as we're currently trying to fix our scoring here. For some reason, it's not populating. We'll give it a second. Maybe it's just a timing issue.
All right, Parker Brookfield did not take tires on that pit stop. That was a fuel-only pit stop.
Which makes sense. You know, these cars can only go about 130 laps total, and way the competition cautions come out with it being 80 laps of green, at this point, why risk a green flag pit stop for fuel?
Right. Chris Carroll did take 4 tires there, so that put him back to 7th position. So we've got a lot of different strategies here. The top 3, Shattuck and Sheffield, top 2, Shattuck and Sheffield, did not take any tires or fuel there. Then you have Brookfield, Zimmerman, Grau, and Rogers, uh, who took fuel only there. So they have full tanks but no tires. And then you have Chris Carroll running in 6th. As Rogers comes back in, Chris Carroll's be the first car on 4 tires.
Rogers repairing damage on that number 51 super late model, trying to get it back up to speed and get his. Did he get the lucky dog back that or get that lap back? Is he back on the lead lap?
Yes. Yeah. Rogers got his lap back there, and with the lucky dog, you do have to start at the tail end of the field.
All right, our Mustang pace car is pulling off as our timing and scoring is back up. Thank goodness. Tyler Shoddick really runs it, jumps out to an early lead. Brandon Sheffield's going to fall back to 3rd.
Yeah, Sheffield didn't get a great start right there. Parker Brookfield took advantage of that and moves into 2nd. And on Sheffield's back bumper already is Chris Carroll running in 4th with those 4 fresh tires.
Already picked up 3 spots as he is now pressuring the 96. Chris Carroll, is he going to try and make short work or pick him off one by one?
He's going to try to pick him off. He missed
bobble.
his line right there. So
Little
he's trying
bobble.
to do a header up high and get a big run off on exit. He just mistimed that and got a little bit loose, and I think we'll just see him do that again.
Yeah, he's fallen back a little bit, but those new tires are going to be boon right now as far as the rest of the competitors in this field. We'll see how quickly he makes it through there.
Yeah, those new tires are also really, really loose, as we saw on lap 1. But I think they're up to temperature now. We'll see Chris enter high into turn 1, and then watch him cut down on exit.
Yeah, with Brandon Sheffield, do you put up much of a fight at this point, or do you let the quicker guy walk away?
Let him go. Let him go. Save your own tires. You got to run your own race and your own strategy. Don't use your stuff up holding up a guy who will get around you. Chris has those fresh tires. He's going to get around you, so don't spend any extra time or any of your own tire tread when you hold him up.
As we move ahead to Chris Carroll, now pressuring his teammate, Parker Brookfield.
Yeah, I don't think Parker will hold him up for too long himself either. I think they know that they're on different strategies there. As this will be a good battle for 4th behind them as well.
All right, so Agnell and Bradley Yo, did they take tires? Because they have now moved up into that 5th position, getting around Brandon Sheffield.
I'll double check on Agnell as Chris goes into
Carroll.
2nd. Parker lets him go by. Agnell, I believe he has tires. Brad Yo does have fresh tires.
Okay. Well, they are now starting to move up through the field. As Parker bobbles coming out of the turn. Chris Carroll, let's see how quickly he closes the gap on Tyler Shattuck. Only 0.4 last second behind the leader that last time by.
If they're racing to lap 222, that's going to be our competition caution.
Oh, Parker Brookfield is around.
Wow.
That one of our main competitors has spun. It doesn't look like he has much damage on that number 26 Chevy, but that is going to affect those tires. A little bit of a crinkle on the side of that car, but it looks like it's drivable. We're going to take a step back and see what happened there to Parker.
He got hit by his spotter. That's his spotter in Road to Pro, Brad Yo. Parker was letting Agnell by and kind of let these tires by, and Yo just kind of gets into him on the front straightaway there. No need to be that tight down the straightaway, and it hooks Brookfield.
Yeah, especially with Brookfield giving so much room. But it kind of looked like Brookfield may have came off a little high on that wall and could have possibly came down. We're going to have to take another camera view of that.
He's against the wall. I think he was just going slower than Yo thought, and maybe Brad thought he could sneak in behind Parker and kind of take a high line there. And Parker maybe was going a little slower than he expected. And, Parker's pretty much against the wall.
Yeah. Yo definitely drifted up on his driver. That's going to make for an interesting conversation the next time Brad is crewing.
If we can watch that one more time and follow Parker Brookfield after he gets turned, and this is such a great example of, never stop driving your car. He's going to get hooked to the left, But that car should be in the inside wall, nose first, end of his race. But watch how he's able to save that and hook the car to the right. That car never hit anything. Parker saved his race, saving that car after he got hooked. That's an incredible piece of driving.
Oh, that definitely makes a difference as far as the skill level of these drivers and everything like that. The ability to be able to control your skid and prevent hitting somebody, and also putting it in a position where other competitors are not running into you.
90% of the guys, when they get hooked like that, they are nose first on the inside wall. And then Parker was able to get the thing back to the right and then not nose first it into the outside wall. That is just a perfect job of preserving your car. It's still 250 laps to go. Not that big of a deal to fall back to eighth position. It'd be a much bigger deal to get damage on your car. So just a really good piece of driving right there.
Yeah, one thing to point out, while that was all happening, we did have pit stops, and it looks like Tyler Shattuck may have taken tires there as he drops back to 11th place. So you got Parker Brookfield and Tyler Shattuck both in the back, and Brandon Sheffield that are going to have to work through some traffic to get back to the lead as we have Chris Carroll running out front.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Tyler, you just lost a lot of track position for about 2 lap fresher tires. So you can't feel too happy about how that pit strategy played out for you. Parker did not pit, so he's still on these older tires, and he went through a long skid. So my guess is here Parker's going to be sort of giving up this next 80 laps. I don't see how far forward he could actually come. His main goal has got to be keep that car clean, get to the next competition caution, get your tires, get back equal with everyone, and then go to the front.
All right, the lights are out on the iRacing Mustang pace car, and the field tightens up, running side by side. We have Chris Carroll first, Agnell Phillip second, Bradley Yo third, Brian Zimmerman fourth, Thomas Grau fifth, Presley Sora sixth, Aaron Rodgers making it back up to seventh, Parker Brookfield eighth, Brand Sheffield ninth, and Gary Smith also running there in 10th. As we go green flag racing, Chris Carroll off to another great start, and Bradley Yo and Agnell Phillip fight for second.
Yeah, big shout out to Agnell getting up to second place right now. Good run for him. Aaron Rodgers was lapped down out of this race, it looked like, and he's moved all the way back into the 7th position. So some of these guys are recovering for sure.
Yeah, as Chris Carroll stretches that lead, we got some good battles up here. We're going to drop back to Presley Sora, who makes the move around Thomas Grau on the outside, and Grau makes that fight down below.
Yeah, these guys just need to settle in and understand where they're at right now. There's a long way to go, and just let this sort out. There's really no need to be pushing super, super hard here. So hopefully these guys are able to file into order.
Yeah, we have Parker Brookfield already starting to make moves up through the field, getting around Gary Smith and Aaron Rodgers, now putting the pressure on Thomas Grau.
Yeah, Grau overdrove that corner, almost got into the back of Sora, and that's going to cost him a spot or two.
Yeah, it's going to make easy work for Parker Brookfield as he's already moved into the 6th position.
I just saw Shattuck behind them almost lose it in the middle of 1 and 2 on those fresh tires.
Yeah, we'll drop back with Shattuck as he receives pressure from Brandon Sheffield, not having as easy time getting through the field, running right now behind the 9th place car of Gary Smith.
Yeah, it takes a couple of laps to get your tire temps up. Those fresh tires aren't a huge advantage while you're just trying to hang on to it those first couple of laps.
And it seems with this new tire model, you have to set this thing up loose early on, and that might be what he's affected by right now.
Yeah, he's just hoping none of these guys spin out in front of him or get into him.
Yeah, as they make quick work of Thomas Grau, who's quickly falling back through the field, now getting pressured by Brandon Sheffield for that 10th position. We have Gary Smith here looking. Oh, as Aaron Rodgers hangs it sideways.
Not uncommon for Aaron.
Well, at least he's got those new pedals and shifters, so that equipment upgrade really hanging the car loose.
Yeah, Shattuck's really right now paying the penalty for being the leader on that last when that caution came out 2 cautions ago, and he stayed out and everyone behind him pitted. So sometimes being the leader, it's a little bit difficult. And right now he's got 3-lap fresher tires and no track position, so that really did not work out for him.
No, but it is a long race, so we'll expect as fast a car that is, as long as he keeps it clean, he'll be up there towards the front.
Yeah, he is working on Smith right now. I think he's got him.
Yeah, it looks like Gary Smith pulled over to the side to let him go. Oh, as we have Thomas Grau down to the inside there. All right, we're going to move back up to the front and take a look at some of these battles. Looks like Parker Brookfield has already made his way up to 5th place, applying pressure to Zimmy. But we also looks like Close Quarters Racing for the lead as Agnell and Bradley Yo have driven up on Chris Carroll.
Yeah, Brad got real loose out of 4. He's pushing it. Chris and Agnell are on the same tires right now, and just big shout out to that 94 car. Sort of spending the first quarter of the race figuring the track out, figuring the car out, and right now he's looking real sporty.
Yeah, judging by that right side, it looks like he collected some early damage.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Just a tiny little crinkle on the right front. I don't think that's going to cost him too much.
No, definitely with these cars in. It looks like Parker Brookfield has moved into 4th and is now setting his sights on Bradley Yo.
Yeah, and if you're Chris Carroll right now, you're thinking those guys weren't with me in those first couple of runs. Maybe they're a little bit slower than me. I can run my pace. That they're really pushing hard to stay with me, and that they're pushing harder than me, and then I can just stay in front of them. But maybe not. Maybe Agnell isn't pushing so hard. Maybe Chris is pushing harder. So you never know. It's hard to watch, hard to know from watching from above without getting into these guys' cars and asking them.
Yeah, we drop back here to the battle for 7th as Presley Soar and Tyler Shattuck are fighting it out. Shattuck making his way finally methodically through the field.
Yeah, it looks like Sheffield's going to get a little bit of Shattuck's riches here if he can stay on Sora's left rear.
Yeah, they're running side by side here at Nashville. Always difficult, especially with that high lane car wanting to cut down on exits so much.
Yeah, it looks like Sora was able to keep that position. And those guys right now, they got to be thinking, all right, 80 laps here. Let's stay on the lead lap, right? That's got to be the main concern. Still a long way to go.
Exactly. As much as this racing has been, nobody has stretched out to a big lead per se, as we still have a close battle between Chris Carroll and Agnell Phillip and Bradley Yo.
Yeah, real good battle back here. Oh, Sheffield just got into Sora on the front straightaway. Put Sora in the wall. Sheffield sliding through 1 and 2. That's a big mistake right there. Looks like Sheffield might have even given Sora that position back as a sort of a I'm sorry.
Yeah, mea culpa indeed. And it looks like they got it straightened back out, no damage, but that's going to cost them some time. Maybe a little bit of right front damage on that number 98 eSPEED scored machine.
Yeah, he got stuffed into the wall pretty good right there. Not a ton of damage. These cars are very, very strong.
Yeah, indeed. But we'll move up through the field as we have a battle between Shattuck and Aaron Rodgers. Short-lived, as looks like Shattuck has moved his way into that 6th position.
Yeah, he's coming. He's got those tires, and I would expect him to be up to up to the front of this pack before the run is over. But he's only a couple laps fresher than Chris and Agnell and Brad.
Yeah, exactly. We will see how quickly he does have some time to make up. So it will be advantageous that Chris Carroll can kind of coast out there in the lead while Shattuck has to make up so much ground and get around another 5 more cars before he ever reaches the leader again.
Yeah, he was a 10th quicker that last lap. He's 4.1 seconds behind the leader. If he can keep that pace up, he'd be right with those guys by the end of this 80-lap run. But that's the difference in tires right there, a 10th.
As we have close quarters, looks like they've kind of single filed out with a little bit of gap between each. Parker, though, slowly inching his way forward back to his crew chief of Bradley Yo.
Give him some payback.
Is it too early? Or is it perfect timing with 220 laps left in this race?
It's never too early to wreck your teammate.
In saying that, for the broadcast, which one of your teammates has wrecked you the worst?
Make that a Zimmy trivia question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looks like Jeff Kendrick still out here turning laps, having a good time, but he is quickly about to go another lap down.
Yeah. I got another shout out to Parker here. He's on older tires than the guys that are in front of him right now. I believe he's one set ahead of those guys. I did not see his car jack up on either side that when these guys came down last time.
Yeah, he's making great work. Maybe these guys, with fighting so hard early on, have burned out all that that newness out of their tires.
A shout out to A51, 1, 2, 3, 4 in that picture.
Yeah, no, the very strong team in the eSPEED Sport League. Usually the ones to beat on a weekly basis.
Yeah, looks like Parker's going to be working on third place right here.
And we'll go in the cockpit of Parker Brookfield as he starts to inch up on Bradley Yo.
Stinks in here.
No comment. Never met him in person, so I'll leave that to his teammate to say as he makes a move.
I think Brad's going to let him go right here.
Probably the respectable thing considering the last time these two connected, Parker ended up turned around.
Now, I don't think Parker and Agnell have run together. Agnell's a very new addition to A51, so this will be fun to watch those guys run next to each other on the track here for the first time.
Yeah, with that 94 machine, Agnell joining the picture. What's that set up next year for A51 and chances in Road to Pro?
I think it's going to be great. I mean, if you Agnell, we've run with him in ESS for quite a while now over this last year, and he started iRacing when the pandemic started, and look where he is now. I think he hit 5,000 iRating maybe today, and I think he's learning a lot really, really fast. He's driving every car on the service, and he's a sponge right now. And I think joining a team that does open setup racing and all that, it's a lot of new information to soak in. And I think he's the kind of guy who will benefit from that.
And up until recently, not really running on the best equipment. I believe he was second booting off of a Mac to try and do his best as far as getting onto the service early on.
Yeah, he's beefing up his equipment, his gear, and I think he's got a high ceiling. I think they would say. I think he's got a long way to go. And look at, I mean, just hopping into a car he doesn't really know, into an open setup, and he's run fixed this whole time, and he's right on the back bumper of Chris Carroll, who is a master in these cars.
Yeah, it's really definitely going to a game of chess with a chess master, but hanging in there very well.
And he's got Parker and Chris in front of him, behind him. They're all in the same Discord. They're all talking right now. He's learning how to drive this car and this track by watching Chris ahead of him right now. He's doing everything exactly right, and he'll do the same with Parker. Parker drives very different than Chris. He can learn something from Parker that he wouldn't learn from Chris, and I think right now he's trying to hang on, but he's also learning.
How much does running a long race like the All-American 400 go as far as beefing up your skills in driving any car on the surface?
It's a totally different skill. Playing the long game, you're always having to think ahead. It's not just every single corner thinking about how to get through that corner the best possible way. It's a totally different mindset. And if you want to do good in long races, you have to put together a whole race. As he's going to let Parker go here in turn 3.
Yeah, it looks like Parker's moving up to second after that spin. Really a diehard effort by Parker Brookfield after almost getting collected in what could have been a race-ending incident.
Yeah, Parker can win any race as long as he's got 4 fenders. He's really talented behind the wheel, and I think he's going to be tough right now. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be him and Chris and Tyler. Those have been the 3 strongest cars I've seen.
Yeah, and speaking of Tyler Shattuck, he has caught this pack as he's now starting to work on the 4th place car of Bradley Yo.
Yeah, he just kind of missed out on that pit strategy a little bit, but there's still a long way to go. His car is still clean. You're just going to be working at it the entire race. Right now, Chris has led. I don't know if we have a lap lead count going right now, but I feel like he's led more laps than anybody by a bit.
Yeah, I believe Chris Carroll would be our lap leader, followed by possibly Parker Brookfield and Tyler Shattuck, really neck and neck as far as laps led. They did get a long opportunity, but they each have driven their way up to the front.
Yeah, the only thing that concerns me is that Parker has just the tiniest bit of damage on the right front. It's it's there for sure. I don't think he's had an opportunity to fix that damage all race, so maybe he can buff that out a little bit. But Chris's car is looking very clean.
Yeah, Chris Carroll up front is where he wants to be, from what it appears. As he has, looks like his car gains handily as he's out front.
Yeah, he really. It seems like the clean air does something for him. It's a
Oh,
record.
we have
Agnell's record. He saved
touch.
it.
Saved it. We remain green, but Agnell collects a little bit of front end damage, and it looks like Tyler comes out unscathed. But those two do make contact. We're gonna play that back real quick.
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of drifted up into Agnell. Agnell's running a little bit low though. He's pinching him just a little bit, and that kind of invites that sort of situation.
Could that be some of the inexperience coming into play with this track and maybe with this car?
Yeah, I mean, when you have a guy, I think Agnell didn't think that Tyler was going to be all the way underneath him. That's a bit of a send from Tyler, but also that's how you have to make passes. And Agnell's probably a little bit lower on the track than he wants to be there, and Tyler's also a little higher on the track than he probably could be there. But if you're Agnell with 200 laps to go, you probably want to be about a half car width higher on the track there.
Yeah, and it's a credit to both of those drivers that neither of them hurt their cars worse than what it could have been, and that they were able to keep it straight and continue with green flag racing.
Yeah, right now, both those cars definitely have some damage, and it looks like Tyler's is probably worse than Agnell's. Tyler, when Agnell was sliding, Tyler got into him. Well, they're both pretty bad. Agnell's is mostly over the left front tire, which, if you're going to have damage, that might be where you want it, whereas Tyler's is right on the nose.
Yeah, I will say that believe Tyler has had damage from early on. I remember seeing that damage. Right now, I think with that contact made, if there was damage, it would be on one of the fenders. Uh, but it looks like as far as Agnell's car, he has a little bit of left front damage on that fender to match that right side damage.
Yeah, that really changes the complexity of the race too for both those guys. It's going to be hard for Tyler to catch, I think, Parker and Chris before this 80 laps is over. And Agnell's lost a lot of time. He's now 5.9 seconds behind Chris Carroll.
Yeah, I think at this point, if you're Agnell, you're just sitting there riding until we get that competition caution, maybe get some this damage fixed and some four fresh tires.
Yeah, I mean you have to say that's a racing deal. I'm sure both the guys are mad at the other guy, but that's a racing deal. Both of them kind of going for the same spot on the track. But when you got a guy coming behind you with new tires, you've got a lot more to lose than to gain by holding them up and pinching them down. And so I think it was just again, that's what we were talking about, a 400 lap race. How do you win a 400 lap race? It's by not making any mistakes and letting people go who are quicker. And that's how you really have to put together 400 laps here. Those are the little mistakes that can take you out of contention to win.
Yeah, as we have Parker Brookfield closing in on his teammate Chris Carroll for that battle for first place. Chris Carroll, one of the dominant cars out here, leading the most laps as they come on to lap traffic of Larry Bell.
I'm really impressed with Parker right now. He's got older tires and a little bit of damage, and he's right there. He looks a little quicker.
Yeah, but it looks like Chris Carroll is setting the pace on this and not giving up anything. He's sticking to his line, and it's follow the leader for Parker Brookfield.
Yeah, his car doesn't seem to agree with the rubber as it's built up on the track so far. But he's only been able to make one change this race, and maybe he doesn't like that change. So he's going to have another opportunity shortly to try to maybe get this car handling more the way he wants.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be about those minor adjustments as we go through and continue on with laps. Just past halfway, 210 in of a 400 lap count.
How are the bladders doing in those cars?
I can tell you, I probably need to use the restroom, but I'm sticking it out. Yeah, exactly. How much of a toll is this on your body? Saying you're turning left 800 times in an evening.
You'd laugh at the idea that that you could be sitting in a computer chair, turn a little wheel, and get tired, but you really can. I mean, this track isn't it's not Darlington or Bristol or Rockingham that can really tire you out. But at the same time, it's more mental focus. But yeah, your arms, your elbows, your back, all that stuff does get tired, and you have to just kind of. It's hard to sometimes concentrate hitting the line correctly. They have to hit 800 corners correctly here, and when you're thinking about your hand or your arm, sometimes you lose a little concentration.
Exactly. And if you're one of the crazy people like me that race barefoot, your feet are going to be aching the next morning. All
We're
right,
coming up here on about 20 laps until the competition caution.
and we're starting to pick off some more lap traffic. They're not catching them as early as they were maybe in some of those earlier stints, but they're coming up on the 86 of Jason Jackson, who's in 14th place.
Yeah, Jackson is already 6 laps down, so he's riding this thing out. More guys will disconnect, so he could definitely pick up positions. But right now, every car in the lead lap has looked strong at some point. Like right now, 11th place, last car in the lead lap is Brandon Sheffield. We've seen him running up top 3 and 4. So it's going to be harder for these guys to put new cars a lap down.
As Parker Brookfield looks to the outside, maybe trying to cut it down a little further on exit than Chris Carroll, but doesn't look like Chris is giving anything up.
Yeah, they got to be a little bit nervous there with Jason Jackson getting the wall ahead of them. But what would make them even more nervous is that Tyler Shattuck is the fastest car on the track by quite a margin. He's got those little bit fresher tires, but he's really reeled them in more than I thought they would. He's looking at less than 20 laps to see maybe if he can pick off these guys while he's got a little bit of a tire advantage. But I'm really impressed by him right now with just a couple laps fresher tires than Chris Carroll. He's really catching Chris a lot. He had to make a lot of passes too, so really impressive run right now. That's the fastest car on the track.
It definitely is, and yeah, to drive through the field like he has, it hasn't always been the cleanest. We saw him get into Agnell Phillip earlier for a position, and trying to get around some of those slower cars, to come out fairly unscathed to drive all the way back to the top two. That's an impressive run.
Yeah, and I think you could tell the way that the A51 cars are handling versus Tyler. Tyler's really sending it in on entry and getting that big diamond, and that makes those A51 cars very vulnerable because he can get into the corner better. And you're always worried about getting turned on entry the way that it happened with Agnell. When you can't get into the corner as good as the guy behind you, that puts you in a kind of precarious position. So that's what can happen, and that's what Parker's thinking about right now.
Exactly. Yeah, that 37 is definitely able to gain a car length or two on entry, and it looks like he kind of drifted up that time just to make sure he stays out and drive it down off of the corner.
Yeah, we're looking at about 12, 13 more laps on this run, but it's kind of fun here. I think 1, 2, and 3 are in the opposite order of speed right now. Each car could probably pass the car in front of them.
As he closes in on the bumper of that number 26 machine. If you're Parker, do you start putting pressure on Chris Carroll because you're being pressured so much for that second position? Are you the kind of the odd man out because you're trying to stay there, not affect your teammates' line too much, but you're also in danger of getting turned or at least rooted out of the way?
There's a long way to go here. I don't see Parker sending it on Chris here unless Chris makes a big mistake. I think Parker's thinking about playing defense here. He's a team player for sure, and is going to try to keep Tyler behind him as long as he can to give Chris the best chance of winning this, or not winning the stage, but staying in the lead before the competition caution.
As we're nearing that, I didn't make note of when the next one comes out. Nate, do you have that down?
I think it's going to be in about 10 laps here, about 2:35 here.
Can Parker Brookfield hold Tyler Shed? Oh, we got a yellow. Was that our competition caution?
Either one of our math is wrong here.
I will say, when it comes to the competition cautions, they should come out with 80 green flag laps in a row, unless there's another caution. And then also, there will be no more competition cautions after lap 350.
Yeah, that did come out earlier. Our last we went green on lap 155, so that was 70 laps ago. But as always, when it comes to competition caution, that comes down to race control's judgment, and looks like that's we're getting it now.
All right, as our leaders do come down to pit road.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's pitting. As far as I know, Parker's up a set of tires on the two guys around him. So it'll be interesting late in this race with that extra set of tires, what he can do with that.
Yeah, we'll have to see as they come to their pit stops. Who takes tires? Looks like Tyler Shattuck. I see the Jack Cohen up on that. Looks like all our leaders are going to be taking tires this time around.
Yeah, the only one I thought might not would have been Tyler, but I think he feels like he still has enough tires to take him here and stay on the same. He's not on the same tires as the guy around him. It'd be really interesting how Parker does being on the same tires because he was really, really strong that last run.
At any point, do you start to think about maybe taking two or rationing those tires? We haven't seen scuffs in iRacing yet, but I
Well,
think some
no,
of these drivers wish there were.
yeah, no, I don't think you'll see anybody take two. Just because if you take two rights, you're saving a set of lefts. So the only way you'd use those is to put on lefts only later in the race. That doesn't not a real big advantage. So if you're taking tires, you're taking four.
Well, it looks like Chris Carroll does come out the leader. Parker Brookfield second. Tyler Shattuck will come out third, and then Aaron Rodgers, who really has recovered from that earlier incident, dropping down a lap, is now scored in the. Will cycle out into the fourth place. Currently showing Larry Bell the leader, but he was the lucky dog in returning to the lead lap.
Well, that's great. So we're going to have 12 cars still on the lead lap. Not too bad. 15 cars still out there racing with 170 to go.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive for this war of attrition. 400 laps at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Historic track. Some great drivers have come from here. Most notably, Darrell Waltrip, Sterling Marlin, Jeremy Mayfield. A lot of history here at Nashville Fairgrounds.
I've got Jeff Kendrick taking the wave around here, which is pretty fun. He's 17 laps down, has some struggles this race, and he's taking the wave around to get to 16 lap down. So it just tells you every single person is trying to get everything they can. Everyone's running their own race here.
I will say, talking with Jeff Kendrick earlier, he is a Nashville native. This is his first eSpeed Sport race, and from talking to him, he joined this just because he loves running Nashville so much.
That's awesome. Well, I think it's going to be an interesting restart, and Tyler is going to be frustrated again because those two cars on the front row are talking to each other, and Chris is going to tell Parker exactly when he's going. And so that can be frustrating for some of those other guys when you have teammates on the front row.
Yeah, it looks like we got three 851 cars in the top five, followed by with Tyler Shattuck of Leduc Matthews, and then Gary Smith, the Winston West veteran. As we go green.
Parker launched exactly with Chris. He was able to sneak into second.
Whoa, Tyler Shattuck running it up the track. That opens the door for Aaron Rodgers. Wrecking behind. We have Bradley Yo going sideways. Yellow's gonna come out. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is on his lid. What happened there? That is not where you want to be if you're the 51 USA Firearms. All kinds of fireworks happening on the track. And
what chaos! He lost it after the caution flag came out, coming out of two. That's what bit Aaron on the very first lap of the race, and he gets all the way back up. Spends 200 laps getting all the way back up to third, and he lost it in the exact same way. Fresh tires out of two, climbs the wall in the back straightaway, ends up on his lid. Not the way that he wanted this race to go.
Not at all. That is very unfortunate. Such a strong run to come back from adversity from that earlier caution. Yes, just chuck the back in and then up and over the wall. Unfortunate run for
trying to turn Aaron over right now, but Aaron just towed the car. Brad Yo, solid teammate. He tried to turn Aaron's car back over. Aaron's going to tow. We're going to see how bad the damage is. It might not be that bad, and we still have 170 laps left. Maybe Aaron can climb back on the lead lap and give this thing another run.
Yeah, we're going to step back here with Bradley Yo to see what exactly happened with him. Looks like maybe a little contact with him in the 79 of Gary Smith.
Yeah, let's go back and watch that one.
Yeah, looks like Gary Smith may have got a little bit loose. Brandon Sheffield maybe bumped him a little bit after that, and then ended up getting into Bradley Yo, which, minimal damage on that car.
Yeah, I don't think Sheffield ever got into Smith. I think Smith was just he's walking the car up the track. He's loose. He's trying to catch it. He's trying to save it. He's walking the car up the track, and nothing Brad did wrong at all. Smith just ends up coming right up into him. Damage isn't terrible. I also want to give a shout to Thomas Grau. Did a really good job missing Brad there. He got all the way on the brakes and was able to, not arc a brake his way into that wreck. So good job by Thomas saving his car.
Yeah,
saving
exactly.
Brad's.
Exactly, as we see the 51 machine on pit road. Looks like that tow out's going to be a lengthy bit of time. I don't know how much damage is on that car, but really unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, he's going to lose a couple laps for sure. Just that tow itself is going to be 1 or 2 laps.
Yeah. All right, as we collect our leaders here, Chris Carroll first, Parker Brookfield second, Tyler Shattuck third.
Yeah, and Aaron, I'm looking at his stream right now, Rogers 851 on Twitch, and he's actually has all of his optional repairs fixed. So he's got the car as fixed as he's going to get, and so he's not out of this race. I've only got him scored 1 lap down.
Yeah, and let's point out some of our other streamers out there.
3 laps down.
3 laps down. 3 laps down.
That's going to be tough.
As the lights go out on the iRacing Mustang pace car, when are they going to update that?
Well, same deal on the start. Again, watch Parker go exactly with Chris, and instead of that guy on the outside dropping to 3rd, 4th position on this restart, see if Parker can get right behind Chris and keep 2nd place. Watch them go together right here.
Yeah, the only tough part, they lose one key figure in their chances. Oh, as we have Larry Bell now spinning out on the restart. Larry Bell, who just made it back to the lead lap, goes around the number 43 machine.
Yeah, he got on the gas and looped it right there. Brad Yo, unfortunately, catches gets some more damage here. So he's gotten a lot of damage here in the last 2 wrecks, neither of them of his doing. And, one thing we have not talked about is incident counts. These guys have to be looking at the 20X until you get a penalty. And I would not be surprised if Brad is now sitting maybe somewhere close to 12 or 16.
Yeah, very quickly nearing that instant count of 20x for a pass-through and then 32x for a DQ.
Yeah.
Well,
I have no way of knowing how many incidents people have, so guessing a little bit.
Exactly. Now, what did these quick cautions do to you if you're Chris Carroll and you're the leader and have to fire off quick restart after quick restart?
Well, I don't think you mind it too much. When you're the leader, that's such a huge advantage, especially in iRacing versus in actual racing or in real life racing. The leader in iRacing has a huge advantage, and they're always going to keep the lead unless they do something really, really dumb. And I think it's more frustrating if you're Parker because you're starting 2nd. Normally, that'd be very frustrating, but at the same time, your leader's giving you a countdown. That's your teammate. So Parker knows he's going to file into 2nd. So really, these guys up front, no big deal. It's the guys in the back. As we're seeing all these wrecks happen over and over again, and you're thinking in the middle of the pack, you're just trying to get through this race. You're trying to get to lap 300, 350, and these guys are wrecking over and over again. So that is very, very frustrating in a long race.
Exactly, as we saw the number 11 of Robbie Harpins getting the lucky dog that time around and catching the field. We're quickly approaching 150 to go in this race. It's turning into a short sprint here with some really tough competition.
Yep, and we're only going to get 1 more competition yellow at most because we will not throw any competition yellows after lap 350. So we're at 241. We're going to go green on like maybe 243 or 244. So that's about 324 when we would get our competition yellow. So we could still get another competition yellow, but we just remember there won't be one after 350.
Exactly. And that's where the tires are going to come into play, either rationing them out or saving that last set for that final competition caution.
All these wrecks are good news, though, for Aaron, though. So everybody that was 1 lap down, 2 laps down with all these wrecks, they've all gotten their laps back. We have 12 cars on the lead lap. So Aaron, the best ideal situation for Aaron is there's a couple more quick wrecks right now, and he'd be able to stay out of those wrecks and get a couple of free passes. That's what he's hoping for. He's 3 laps down, so Aaron is on Team Chaos right now.
Does he put people in bad positions at that point, or do you just see him waiting it out and hoping for that quick caution?
He's just got to wait it out, because if you get even a 0x, touch another car, brush the wall on the lap, the caution comes out, you're not eligible for the lucky dog. So he's just got to sit back, wait it out, hope there's still 3-4 more cautions in this race.
Exactly. As we go green, the pace car pulls off the track. Chris Carroll backing up the field, kind of stacking them up there, and gets off on guns it. Parker Brookfield able to cut down and get back into second.
Yeah, if those aren't teammates on the front row, the second place is side by side. But just getting that
down. There's another incident as Gary Smith goes around, collects Presley Sora. Will quickly. Oh, we got a big pile up.
Now, did Aaron touch anybody in all that? He was in a rush to get through that pile. I'm not sure why, but let's see if he didn't touch anybody, he's the lucky dog.
Well, the other issue is if he stopped on the track, that could score you as a part of that incident as well. We will go back and take a look what happened with Gary Smith. It looked like just again another restart that people are maybe spin the tires a little bit and getting in there.
Well, no, the accident happens out of 2 right there, and it looks like
Smith, that may be a bit of net code.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of net code there. I think Zimmerman is higher on the track than Smith is expecting. I think Smith is lower on the track than Zimmerman is expecting, and kind of a racing deal right there. A little bit of net code doesn't help at all. Agnell Phillip gets turned in all of that as well.
Presley Sora, who was also strong early. Yeah, the way the physics of those cars shifted, way Brian came up the track, that looks like classic iRacing net code, which is rather unfortunate to take out as many of these fast competitors as it did.
Yeah, a lot of guys really not checking up for that wreck as much as you'd want to. Presley getting in the back of Agnell, and then Thomas getting in the back of Presley. People with this many laps to go, you'd like to see more people try to come to a stop, but the brakes aren't great in this car at the same time. It's really hard to come to a stop in these cars.
Yeah, we're going to have several super late models looking like modifieds out here, the way they're wrecking them up on restarts.
And Aaron Rodgers does get the lucky dog. He's now 2 laps down, and I'd be curious to watch the onboard view of that wreck from Presley and Thomas's views, so you can see how hard it really is to get woed up for some of these wrecks.
Yeah, we'll drop back into Mr. Sora's cockpit, who did go around in that last caution and take some damage. He did pit to repair some.
So you think, okay, why did he run in the back of Agnell? When you ride on board, it's very, very hard to check up in time, and he doesn't do anything wrong there. It's just a chain reaction.
Yeah, it's really tough with these cars, again, with the brakes the way they are. Again, you get that visual. That looks like classic netcode to me between Zimmerman and Smith, which again, you hate to see it in a sim, but it is part of the game, and unfortunately it takes out many of the competitors here at lap 247.
Yeah, and it's just both those guys are running each other really, really tight with 150 more than 150 laps to go. You definitely both those guys could be giving each other extra room, because netcode is possible, and there's really no reason to be right on people's doors or to be running up the track. I think it's just a combination of very small mistakes turning up into a big wreck.
Yeah, Gary Smith and Presley Sora fixing damage, getting out there out of the pits quickly. Chris Carroll and the field double up for this restart with 200 and coming to 250 to go, or 150 to go. I'm sorry. And here we go. Oh,
green.
A little juggle. No, a little juggle on the start.
But Tyler juggled as well, and it all kind of turned into the same thing. 1, 2, 3, same order.
Yep, exactly. Looks like Brand Sheffield might got the short end of the stick as he falls back to 5th place and is now looking to lose another spot.
All right, so we restart on lap 250. We would get a competition yellow still on lap 330. But these
Oh, we
guys,
got another yellow.
good for Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, that looks like he'll gain another lucky dog spot. Let's touch back through the field and figure out what happened there, as it looks like maybe Larry Bell got into that one.
Yeah, it was Robbie Hartpence got into Thomas Grau there going into turn one.
Oh, Robbie. Okay, gotcha. Well, I don't claim him, but he is my brother.
Yeah, he got a little bit loose. Thomas has given him all the room in the world, but he got a little bit loose and hooked Thomas around.
Okay,
Not a
that.
lot of damage on any of those cars. Aaron Rodgers does a good job missing that, and I guarantee you he was very happy to see that.
Yeah, and also some of those cars that took damage in that previous caution, for them to be able to fix some of that damage.
Now, Presley Sora was in that last wreck and lost 2 laps fixing his damage, so I believe maybe he is going to get the lucky dog here, not Aaron.
Oh well, that's bad news for Aaron. Yeah, and just slight contact. Looks like Thomas was able to get him back up and going and around, but just enough to bring out the caution.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm trying. It was Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers does get the lucky dog on that caution. So Presley is 2 laps down. Aaron all the way back to 1 lap down. How about that? He was 3 laps down 15 minutes ago, and the field. I said he's Team Chaos, and the game gave him that, right?
Yeah, right. The iRacing gods look favorably on Aaron Rodgers, as we have our leaders, Chris Carroll and Parker Brookfield, coming into the pits. Looks like they're going fuel only. I don't know if I saw the Jacks slide under those cars or take any tires.
I think that's an interesting call with 150 to go, 145 to go. They know the fuel run is roughly about 130, but you get a few cautions and you're now in your fuel window.
That's very true, but still, competition caution at this point could still come out, which could put them behind if I'm calculating it correctly. Uh, if you're out there and you're getting that competition caution, and they're still trying to fight their way through this pack, which has been kind of wrecky lately, does that put you in a tough spot?
Yeah, I think they know a lot of these guys are fixing damage, and they're not going to have to pass too many cars, but at the same time, they are now in the thick of it. And there's going to be a few laps where if a wreck happens, they could be in it and they could throw their entire race away. So they're taking a real chance doing this, but they must feel that they can do tires only and not take fuel later in the race. Here, they're going to be able to have a quicker pit stop and cycle out into first place. But right now, the big question is can they avoid the chaos as they come up through the field?
Exactly. So now we have Tyler Shattuck back in the lead, followed by Brian Zimmerman, Brandon Sheffield, Bradley Yo, Robbie Hartpence, who was involved in that last incident, along with Thomas Grau. They somehow move up with some of those people taking pit stops. So it'll be interesting how this shakes out with some of those damaged cars that are running a little higher, a little further up the field than maybe you would think at this point.
Yeah, we don't have teammates calling the lead here, so Zimmy and Sheffield might be side by side going into turn one here.
Very well possible as Tyler Shattuck gets a great start.
It's so hard to start from second place, and look at that, Zimmy's going to lose second place even before he gets to turn one. It's hard to see that guy go. Third place has a much better sight view of it, and third place oftentimes is where you want to be. So that's why it was so important, all those restarts for Parker to get that countdown from Chris.
Exactly. Very, very tough as Sheffield still a little bit racy with Shattuck.
Oh,
Gary Smith, the back around again. I saw him back there. We'll jump around to that.
Yeah, Larry Bell got in the wall there and bounced off the wall, got Smith. So Bell's struggling out here late in the race. And you see as the laps tick down, you start losing a little bit of concentration, and he's having a hard time keeping the car pointed forward. All that is good news for Aaron Rodgers, who I believe will get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, and Gary Smith, another recipient of some unfortunate luck. I mean, he's been caught up in really many wrecks of his, not of his doing. It's really unfortunate to see him caught up in another one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him for sure. And, this is why track position is so important.
Now, both of these drivers, referred by Chris Carroll, At some point, are they both mad at Chris?
They should be. I mean, ultimately these wrecks are Chris's fault. But Chris Parker and Agnell passed Larry Bell and Smith literally that previous corner. So how important was it to that for them to get there? That wreck happened right behind them, so they dodged a bullet right there.
Yeah, Chris Carroll starting way back there in the field has already moved up to seventh, along with Parker Brookfield and Agnell Phillip. So they made their way around some of those cars that you'd have to be concerned about possibly collecting them up.
Yeah, they must be. They're coming back into pit road, so they're going to do this again. They're going to do the same strategy they did before. They're going to top off on fuel. They know they can make it to the end from here. Probably it's 140 to go. It's again really close on fuel. They would probably only need maybe one more caution or so to make it on fuel. So what I think they're really banking on is that the competition yellow. They're not going to have to put fuel in the car, and that's going to cycle them back right out into first place.
Yeah, very well with the handling. If they're fighting a loose race car, having that fuel load out of it is going to help tighten it up and maybe better on that last sprint. Because right now, as it stands, we would get the competition caution right around lap 342, I would say.
Yeah, and we've set up how the competition caution works so that there won't be green flag pit stops. There is a chance that they have not done that math and they're thinking it might go green to the end. If they just aren't aware of that, that would be one reason why you'd be filling up right now. But with a caution is coming, they're likely not going to stay out at that competition caution. The only reason I can think that they are coming in for fuel right now is so that their final pit stop is slower. Sorry, their final pit stop is faster.
Exactly. And one thing to kind of talk about is what is at stake with this All American 400. We're talking about right now a total purse of $100 split out between the top three. $50 going to first place, $30 going to second, $20 to third. Not only that, but also the All American 400 Les Paul six scale Gibson replica. So that would be nice on anybody's mantle to survive a 400 lap race, such as the All American 400.
Yeah, and we're starting to get, down into the end of this race. They're thinking about the final run. We were talking earlier about giving guys room because of possible net code and things like that. But I think, we're starting to get to the portion of the race where maybe you do risk it. Maybe you do run on people's doors. I don't know if that's now or a little bit later, but we'll be curious to see.
All right, pace car is off as we go around to take the green flag. Tyler Shattuck jumps off to a nice little early lead. Brandon was able to get in there and shut the door on Brian Zimmerman.
Good battle here for fourth place as well with Robbie and Thomas Grau. Chris, he gets the wall a little bit right in front of Chris. Chris checks up, keeps his car clean, loses a spot, but again, you're thinking about lap 400 here.
Exactly. Robbie Hartman's back around again.
Yeah, he got in the wall again, and right in front of Brad Yo there, and nowhere for Brad to go.
Oh, Brad Yo again, another recipient of an incident not of his doing. So this is where it's getting tough for some of these drivers. They are having a hard time with these starts and restarts, not giving enough time for these tires to warm up and for the car to get going.
Yeah, I think you're 264 laps in. We've been at this for almost 2 hours. Guys are losing their concentration here, and unfortunate for Brad there, and also Agnell nowhere to go. Boots Brad. Brad does a really good job spinning the car out, does a perfect 360, and keeps going. So a nice little pirouette by Brad there.
Yeah, all of those competitors were able to finally point their cars straight. If you're Chris Carroll and Parker Brookfield, they are you got to be happy getting around some of this traffic, even though they've had to dodge some bullets. I do have to point out, nope, Tyler Shattuck has fallen to. Okay, we have some weird timing stuff because
he's pitting.
He's pitting. Okay, gotcha. We are now live on the number 37 of Tyler Shattuck.
Yeah, so all the guys that haven't been pitting here these last few cautions, they mostly pit here with the exception of Zimmerman and Grau. They stayed out. So that's sort of interesting. And yeah, back to your point about Chris, the previous set of corners, Hartpence got into the wall. Chris was able to get in the brakes, not hit him, preserve his car, and then the wreck happens 2 times in a row right in his rearview mirror.
Unbelievable. That's perfect timing. That's skill. That's everything that compounds into a good run that Chris Carroll has had. Has moved back up to the 5th position, but Parker Brookfield has gotten around him, and we've seen it with those two. They are very hard to pass.
Yeah, Chris gave up that position, and that's what you have to do in a 400 lap race. That's why you don't run guys super close in a 400 lap race. And for the first 300 laps, when a guy is looking like he's getting the wall, you get on the brakes. You cut down to the middle of the track. You do all these little things to preserve your car, and that's how you win a long race. That's long race driving right there. Smart from Chris.
Exactly. Brian Zimmerman now getting some TV time. He has not led a lap until this point. Him and Thomas Graw slowly moved their way up through the field. And look at that. We have the Baja Blast Green, or blue, whatever color that is. Aaron Rodgers has moved himself right back up into the top 5 after two times in this race falling laps down.
Yeah, and these guys are on the same tires here, the top 6, going back to Agnall. So that they're all kind of on older tires. And then you have Sheffield and Shattuck. I'm going to check to see if they grab tires on that pit stop. I don't think they would have, though. I think everyone's saving their tires for this competition caution.
Yeah, if that were me, that's what I'm strategizing. Making sure I have enough fuel to get there as the lights go out on the pace car and the field doubles up.
Shattuck and Sheffield did not take tires there. So the way I see it, I think everyone's pretty much on the same tires now with one set.
Well, as it stands now, we would be at the 350 mark for the final competition caution. So it's really this next caution or never for taking tires.
That's right. We'll have to get a clarification from race control on whether a competition will come out or not if it stays green here.
As we get restarted, Thomas Crow still in second. Aaron Rodgers battling it out. Looks like Thomas maybe caught the wall a little bit on that restart. It looks like Aaron may have a little bit of engine damage because he has not quite got the speed, it appears, as the others do.
That car has been on the lid, so he can't be too sad about that. He's pointed in forward. So Parker and Chris are looking like they're going to make their way around him on the high side.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing that 51 machine is still out there and on the lead lap and in the top 5, considering it was a turtle on its shell mere laps ago.
So Shattuck did not take tires, so he's sort of lost some of his track position. This happened a couple times this race where he's just on pit sequences, worked himself to the back end, but this time he does not have a tire advantage. It'll be interesting how quickly or even if Shattuck can move up here and run with Parker and Chris.
Exactly, and there's some bullets to dodge as some of this slower traffic is really clogging it up for Tyler Shattuck.
Parker moves himself into second. Grau got a little bit of the wall right there. Let's see if he holds Chris up at all for third.
Yeah, we'll move up to the front and catch our leaders as we have Brian Zimmerman still in the lead. Parker Brookfield second, Thomas Grau third, Chris Carroll fourth.
Shattuck is looking on Aaron for 7th right now, but didn't quite make that pass work. Do want to let you guys know that Blake Bottoms, we mentioned he disconnected a little bit ago. Gary Smith is also disconnected. He was in a lot of those incidents.
Yeah, tough night for Gary Smith. Really unfortunate for the Winston West veteran. You'd like to see him. He really battled back. He was in the top 5 a few times after qualifying on the outside pole, but just was not his night, getting collected up in a few of those incidents.
Side by side for 5th position here going to turn 1. Looks like Sheffield's going to make the pass on Agnall Phillip, and Shattuck is going to try to make the pass on Aaron. Aaron gets
Aaron in the wall. Yes. Agnall now trying to cross over Grant Sheffield. We'll see if Sheffield can get that run on the outside line.
Yeah, he does. Good job. Good driving there by Sheffield. And I think Aaron was pushing that car a little too hard, trying to stay up there. I don't think the speed is in that car. Chris Carroll's able to get around Thomas Grau for 3rd place as Parker Brookfield sets his sights on Zimmerman for the lead.
As we go to catch the leaders. Yes, Parker Brookfield, Brian Zimmerman battling it out for that top spot. Zimmy, a little bit of a super late model ace. Former ESS super late model champion. He's definitely one to be tough to get around in and to hold his own on these short tracks.
Parker looking to the bottom, turn one. He's at his door, but can he get the exit? He does. That's a good drive right there. They might have even sprayed a little paint on the back straightaway. Parker's going to get this fast done here in the next corner or two.
Yeah, there is Zimmy on the outside, just cannot hold it, but he is battling it out. I give him credit. He's getting a hell of a run off that outside line.
Yeah, they're giving each other a lot of room. Parker will take the lead. Zimmy's going to go for a crossover here. Let's see if Parker can hold him off out of turn four.
Yeah, and that is a heck of a move by Brian Zimmerman. He is putting up a heck of a fight with his teammate Parker Brookfield, but this is opening the door for Chris Carroll to move right into the picture.
Yeah, that was some good battle in there. Those guys are teammates, and I like that move that Zimmy did when Parker was below him. He just said, you know what, I'm going to give you the position on entry and get that giant run on exit. It's able to, make another charge at it, and but it was a good attempt there. But I think that 26 machine might be the fastest car on the track right now. It's going to be tough to keep it behind him.
Definitely, as now we have Tyler Shattuck and Brandon Sheffield battling it out for the 5th position. Tyler Shattuck making that move around the outside.
What I like about the 37 car tonight is he's able to get passes done. The way
he drifts up the track.
Loses in 1 and 2, but he's so good on entry, and it's difficult when you're really good on entry and maybe not as good on exit. But he's able to differentiate himself. He's got a different setup than the other guys out there, and it's allowing him to get passes done. It's so hard to pass here, and I think he's passed a lot of cars tonight.
Yes, he has. He's definitely had his work cut out for him as he's driven through the field on several occasions. Looks like Chris Carroll has moved into 2nd place around Brian Zimmerman.
Yep, so I think the Brookfield Carroll 1-2 is what we expected here, and that's finally worked itself out with 114 laps to go.
Now, if you're Tyler Shattuck, do you feel like it's a little bit of a David versus Goliath battle, being the only non-A51 car in the top 5?
Well, when you're restarting third like he was, and the teammates are in front of you on the front row, and they're telling each other when they're going to start, I think that's frustrating. It's tough to beat that, and he had worked himself ahead of both those cars, though. So I think he can still win this race, and it'll be interesting. We still have another pit stop, another set of tires. I see Tyler getting back up into the top 3 here before too long.
Yeah, we move back to the battle for 3rd place. It looks like Thomas Craw is driven up to the back bumper of Brian Zimmerman.
Yeah, that's a good battle. Both those guys are having really good runs tonight. They haven't avoided all the trouble tonight, but those cars are still looking pretty good. But Tyler's going to be looking to the outside of Thomas Crow. Crow does not give him the lane. I think he surprised Thomas there that he was going to go to the top. But boy, if you can get to the right rear of somebody, if you can get above somebody, you're going to complete that pass so much easier than going underneath them.
Yeah, we haven't seen that so far here at Nashville. Somebody really working towards the outside on somebody and really kind of treacherous territory to try and pass here in this race.
Yeah, Tyler's working on Thomas right now here. That's for the 4th position, and I think Tyler wants to get through Thomas and Brian as quick as he can, and so he can try to reel in the top 2.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Brian may be holding up these two just a touch. As Chris Carroll has driven up onto the bumper a little bit of Parker Brookfield. These two are working themselves and running up that lead.
Have we gotten word on what lap race control, if and when they would throw the competition caution? I'm very curious about that.
I tell you what, if you take care of the action, I will jump into race control and confirm that fact.
All right, well, we're watching this battle for 3rd position. That's 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And there we go. Tyler underneath Thomas going into turn 3. Is he able to complete this pass? Thomas gives him a lot of room, and Tyler.
Yes, sir. I am not.
I can run race control if you want.
There is no more competition caution. No more. We're done. Yes, it was. Okay, sounds good.
Is really driving that car. He's touching the wall here and there. He's losing it on center and gathering it back up. Parker and Chris have been much more stable. Their cars have been much smoother. and Shattuck is out there really wheeling it and driving that car. And it's been really fun to watch him come from the back to the front so many times during this race. But he's 2.2 seconds right now behind Chris and Parker. So when he does get around Zimmerman, if he does, he's going to have his work cut out for him to cut that gap down.
Yeah, he's really got his work cut out for him, trying to make up that gap. But not only that, finish off this last pass to start his march towards the leaders. Did confirm with race control, we are actually beyond the point for another competition caution. So we are running it out. Now, if a caution does come out, that'll be natural. We'll run it out as is. But we have no more competition cautions at this point.
All right, so everybody on the, I wonder if Chris and Parker have enough fuel. Not pitting that last time, they've got to be on the very edge of their fuel window.
Yeah.
That's going to be really curious if they have enough gas.
Yeah, I've heard anywhere from 125 to 130 being the long end of a run for the fuel in one of these super late models. And, really pushing the envelope as far as that goes when we restart at lap 270, coming to 271. So it's going to be really, they've stretched out this lead. Are they going to be able to save fuel, though? With Tyler Shattuck, if and when he gets around Brian Zimmerman, can they save fuel and still keep this lead?
Yeah, that's going to be really fun to watch here. If this race goes green, I really don't know. As Shattuck is looking underneath Zimmy. Zimmy is playing defense for his teammates 1 and 2 right now. But Shattuck he's going to make this pass before too long.
Yeah, Zimmy is confirmed. He is a tough guy to pass, as you saw in that last one. He's making that same maneuver when somebody's on the inside. He's arcing it just a little bit more to get that run off the high line. But Thomas Graw is going to take that open territory and try to make a move on Brian Zimmerman himself.
Yeah, good battle there for 4th, 5th, and 6th. But, the big story here is Tyler Shattuck is 2.6 seconds behind Chris and Parker. Can he catch them? Can he pass them? And do Chris and Parker have the fuel? Those are the storylines here if it stays green in the last 100 laps.
Exactly. Brian Sheffield was able to get around Brian Zimmerman. But again, just a little loose off exit and that affecting his line, but it looks like he's going to hold that position. Now we go on with Tyler Shattuck as he makes that march towards the leaders of Chris Carroll and Parker Brookfield.
He is driving. I saw him lock up one of his front tires there going to turn 1 last lap.
Yeah, he is definitely driving the wheels off of that thing as he approaches the lap car of Jeff Kendrick. Still turn lefts, moved up the field so far, passing Gary Smith in 14. You got to give him credit for sticking it out with that damaged car from early in the race.
Yeah, there's an accomplishment to finishing a 400-lap race. Even if you don't get the finish you want, even if you don't win the race, just finishing a 400-lap race is something I think you cannot be proud of.
And we finally have our first a little bit of a pressure. Chris Carroll now applying to Parker Brookfield, making that look to the inside.
Yeah, they're battling right now. Those guys aren't cruising. They're not saving fuel. They are absolutely battling. This is a good battle for the lead right now.
You wonder what they know, if they are confident that they can make it the rest of the way, that they're pushing it so hard, or that they know that Tyler Shattuck will be approaching at any moment.
Yeah, but as we count down these laps, if this thing stays green, we're going to look at the exact lap they were on pit road, how many caution laps we had. We'll start doing some math and really see how nervous these guys would be. But for now, those guys they're racing. They're looking like they can make it. They're racing as if they can.
Yeah, and you can really tell this track has completely rubbered in. You start to think about, with these cooler temperatures, with the track rubbered in as much, are they turning as many RPMs as they were earlier, or maybe in practice? Did they, run on a track this used up, and how that also affects that fuel mileage in this final stage?
Yeah, track temps only come down about 1 degree over the last hour, so it's the rub is different.
Chris Carroll sending it in, but Parker wisely giving it to him. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they had worked that out a straightaway before. Parker went in up top. Parker wants Chris to lead. These guys are talking to each other. They're in the same Discord. They know what each other are doing, and Parker probably felt like maybe he was pushing too hard to keep Chris behind him. He felt like Chris was faster. Parker let him go.
As you see the number 11 of Robbie Harpence calling it down and into the pits. You have the 43 Larry Bell lap car separating our leaders from the third place car of Tyler Shattuck.
And Shattuck right now is a tenth of a second faster than Carroll and Brookfield. That's another thing that's going to go into Brookfield's calculation there. If Shattuck is catching them pretty quickly, a tenth a lap here. So Brookfield's got to be thinking, well, maybe I'll drop back, and maybe Chris can put up a little bit better of a pace.
Yeah, exactly. And just kind of judging by the intervals and stuff like that, that kind of change in position also kind of cut down some of that interval between Parker Brookfield and Shattuck for that second place position.
Yeah, Shattuck has lost a little bit of time getting around that lap car. Now the gap is back to 2.4 seconds.
Yeah, we shall see as we close into the final 85 laps of this super late model race here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. The historic All-American 400 here virtually ran on iRacing. This is, really been a pleasure to call this race tonight. The first real eSpeed Sport program that we've been able to conduct. This has been a great one. Hopefully, we have an exciting show here toward the end as well.
Yeah, I think Shattuck has to cool his tires down. When he was passing Larry Bell last time, he got really, really loose in the middle of the corner. Just kind of overdrove the corner, skid the car up the track. So he's pushing really, really hard. I would imagine he's hoping for a yellow.
Yeah, to close up that gap just a little bit quicker. But, I mean, he still has a lot of time to be able to track these top two down, and we still don't know with fuel mileage in play. We're going to take a pass through the field and look at some of our other competitors. Here, Thomas Grau, the Nashville native, the guy helping to throw on this eSpeed Sport All-American 400. Thomas Grau running in fourth. Great showing by him. I'm sure he is very happy with his performance tonight.
Yeah, big thanks to Thomas for thinking up this event and putting it on for sure.
Yeah, then we fall back to Team eSpeed Sport driver Brandon Sheffield. Been top 5 contender all day, running right around that 4th, 5th place position. Put up a strong showing in that green and orange-silver number 96 car.
You gotta think he's got his sights on the demo derby after the race.
Yes, the post-race demo derby. Are these guys going to have the stamina to be able to wreck up some super late models more at the end of this thing?
That's a very good question.
I'm telling you, I'm done. I'm disconnecting if I'm out there at that point.
Yeah, you have to think that they're going to be needing to get up and maybe use the restroom and not do a demo derby.
Yeah, exactly. Now you have Agnell Phillip running in the 6th place in that 94 851 machine. He's had a pretty steady day, had a couple of run-ins with our 3rd place competitor, Tyler Shattuck. Earlier, slight incidental contact, maybe a couple of little run-ins here and there with wrecking cars, but he's held strong in 6th place.
Yeah, I think he still has his sights set on a top 5. That's you always have something to drive for, and I don't think he's right now without a yellow wouldn't be a contender to win this race, but a top 5 would be a huge accomplishment.
Well, speaking of, Brandon Sheffield's moving up the board as he makes the pass around Thomas Grau for that 4th place position. So Brandon Sheffield's still racy at this point, trying to move up and get those top positions. Maybe not enough stuff for the top 3 drivers, but he's having a hell of a run.
Yeah, really good job by him.
I think that also opens the door for Agnell to close in and get that top 5 position that you were just talking about. Let's see. Going back here, we got Brian Zimmerman, who restarted as the leader on that last caution. Has fallen back through the field after putting up a heck of a fight. Zimmy running in the 7th position. Bradley Yo here in 9th position. Has had some bad luck, but still toughing it out in 9th. Larry Bell, another one who's been the result of a few of those cautions, running 10th.
You forgot about Aaron Rodgers sitting in 8th.
Well, Aaron, yes, that's right, correct. Aaron on the lead lap still. Those other 2 cars a lap down. Aaron Rodgers here, last car on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, good news is, Aaron, you're on the lead lap. The bad news is you're getting beat by your spotter.
Yeah, he is, but he's got a fairly significant damage with that number 51, 851 car being on its lid earlier and being in a couple of those incidents. Presley Sora in the number 98 eSpeed Sport machine. Rare one-time deal with the eSpeed Sport colors, but glad he could have him on there. Unfortunate incident though early with the big pile up with Gary Smith and a few of those competitors on a restart. Then you have Jason Jackson, 13th. Had a bit of a caution or a single caution that really damaged that number 86 machine. And we cycle back to Jeff Kendrick in the 62. The Nashville native still plugging along there. And then our leaders, Chris Carroll, still got a bit of a lead, pulling it out on Parker Brookfield and Tyler Shagnick. Methodically narrowing that gap, but not coming on as strong as he did earlier in the race.
Yeah, I've been watching the lap times and the intervals here, and Chris and Tyler, they're running the same pace. Chris is keeping Tyler about 1.9 seconds behind. It's gone anywhere between 1.8 and 2.1. But Parker is dropping back. He's losing some time, so Tyler is catching Parker in a hurry. But something would have to change for a change in the lead here. So I think that's pretty interesting. Also watching a pretty good battle there between Sheffield, Grau, and Phillip. Those guys are all running 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Could it be that maybe Chris or Parker maybe realized that maybe he needs to save some fuel at this point?
It's tough to save fuel on a short track, but it can be done. I did a little bit of math. Those guys were in pit lane last under yellow. It was lap 267. That's 133 to go. But there were 3 caution laps. We went green on lap 270. So you got to figure, if you don't count those caution laps, that's 130. That's right on the nose. 133. Well, that's pushing a little bit. So these guys might have to save a little bit. Maybe they have to save a lap, maybe 2 laps, which can be done. You can do that, and you probably wouldn't start doing that yet. It's still 65 to go, still a ways to go. You could probably save 1-2 laps of fuel by saving fuel for about 20 laps.
Well, our leader has caught some lap traffic as he works around Jeff Kendrick. Moving on to the 86, Jason Jackson, Presley Sora, who are fighting it out right now, close quarters. But Chris Carroll going to have to do some work around this lap traffic.
Yeah, and I'm watching Shattuck. He has caught Parker Brookfield for 2nd position here.
That he has. The biggest thing is, can he make quick work of Parker Brookfield?
I don't think so.
No, yeah, Parker's going to make that car awfully wide. So it'll be very interesting to see, especially, since the newness is falling off these tires for Tyler.
Yeah, when you're only about a half a tenth quicker than somebody a lap, you can catch them pretty quickly, but then is that enough to get around somebody? It's very difficult to pass unless you're, significantly faster. So we'll see how they do it.
Yeah, Tyler looking low, running that low line, trying to get around Parker Brookfield as they work around the lap car of Jeff Kendrick.
Yeah, you got to think that Tyler's going to want to send it on entry here eventually, and it'll be something to Parker if he can get him on exit.
Exactly. It looks like Tyler's running a little bit of different line, running that high line and then cutting it down low on exit.
Yeah, that's how he's been running all night, diamonding it. Entering nice and low, coming up, and then gassing on exit. But now he's running Parker's pace. So Parker is a little bit slower than Chris. Chris was pulling away. Well, until Tyler gets around Parker, he's no longer keeping time with Chris Carroll. He's losing time to Chris right now.
Exactly. And if you're Tyler, at what point, 60 laps to go, your patience may run thin. Tempers start to flare as we get closer and closer to that checkered flag.
Yeah, this is your shot for the win. You need to get around Parker. You need to do it quickly. Parker's going to be blocking. Whoa! And the 86 of Jason Jackson gets into the wall right in front of Tyler. Tyler gets into him. That really cost him a lot.
That could have been very unfortunate for Tyler. They work a way around the 86. But you got to think the heart's beating a little harder now after having that close call.
Yeah, that's so frustrating. You hope the lap cars just sort of hold their line and let you battle for the lead and for the win. Those lap cars are doing best they can. It's 342 laps. You're getting dizzy. You're getting tired. But these guys, they want to. Tyler is just desperate to get around Parker, and that was a huge setback.
Yeah, exactly. No, that really affected his time as he falls half second behind Parker Brookfield, and Brookfield now 2.2 seconds back from our leader, Chris Carroll.
Yeah, Chris is pulling away from Parker quite a bit, and Tyler, he was keeping pace with Chris, but no longer. He's got to get around Parker. Now he's got to catch Parker and get around him. There's still a lot of time, though. We're still looking at 55 laps. If one of these cars is really good or really bad on the long run, these gaps can be closed, and obviously a caution can come out at any time.
Yeah, and with racing being a game of momentum, as well as a long race like this, to have a gap or have something like that cause you to lose ground and have to work twice as hard, that could really affect mentally how you attack and go back at it.
Yeah, and that's just a little bit more damage on the front of that Shattuck car. He's got the most damage of this top three, and he just got a little bit more, a little bit more. That's obviously it's not hurting him a ton, but it certainly isn't helping him.
Exactly, and I think I know Tyler said going in he was going to take a chance at that hard charger award, and he's made it through the field a couple different times, but maybe overall that's affected his race as he's collected some damage from maybe some of those slower competitors and really have to work so hard to get through the field.
Yeah, and kind of his pit strategy throughout the night has not been the most efficient. He's put himself in a position where he's behind a lot of cars in this race, and when your track position, your average running position during a race is a little bit lower than the guys ahead of you. You have to expect that that's going to turn into a little bit more damage in a race like this. So I think that's played into his situation and why he's not maybe right there next to Chris, but a few seconds behind him.
Yeah, exactly. As he's now put it about 3/10 of a second behind Parker Brookfield, so he's slowly closing the gap, but not as quickly as he maybe once was. And they are falling further back. Is now Chris Carroll has a 2.8 second lead over Parker Brookfield.
In that 2.8 seconds, that's fuel in your tank. That's fuel that you can save. You can lift a little bit earlier. You can get on the throttle a little bit less. Heck, you can throw the clutch in, for a few laps going into the corners and give up a little bit of time. So that's how you save fuel is by giving up time, using less accelerator. And so that 3 seconds, that's fuel in the tank. That's free fuel.
Exactly. And oh, we have a yellow out.
There's a yellow.
I believe we may have had a competition caution.
Nope, it was for Thomas Grau.
Wow.
On the 80th lap, we were not going to get a competition yellow on lap 350, but then we end up getting a yellow on 350. Thomas
Unbelievable.
Got out of 4. Sheffield got in the back of him. No fault of Sheffield there. Thomas was sliding, trying to save his car, maybe even a little bit of net code, but some a pretty light impact into the inside wall for Thomas.
Now, our leaders jump on pit road, we'll go back and look at that in a second, but let's look at these pit stops by our leaders because this is setting up for a shootout here with probably 45 to go. If you're Tyler Shattuck, are you? I think you're very happy that the caution came out like it did.
Oh, absolutely. Unless Chris and Parker couldn't make it on fuel, and I think they could. This very much works in his favor. Everyone's going to be on the same tire. Everyone can make it on fuel. Fuel's out of the question. Tires are out of the question. Now it's just going to be a dogfight for about 35, 40 laps.
As we see Bradley Yo go by, looks like Chris Carroll's going to make his way off of pit road. Parker Brookfield second, Tyler Shattuck third. Brandon is going to come out fourth, Agnell fifth, Brian Zimmerman sixth. So we will pretty much stay in line with where we were at prior. Let's drop back, find Thomas Grau here, and find out what happened on that previous caution for our audience.
Yeah, he just ends up getting a little loose out of turn 4, and unfortunately it was right in front of Brandon. Brandon had nowhere to go.
Yeah, they were fighting hard for that position. Yes, exactly. Just funny. Did end up tagging the wall with that front end. So we'll have to see how much, what damage that happens with the 84, but also the 84 losing a lap in that incident.
Yeah, and Brad Yo is able to get the lucky dog.
And
he's back on the lead lap.
And it looks like Presley Sora and Jason Jackson are going to take the wave around, as well as Jeff Kendrick this time around.
And I think they can make it on fuel. Obviously, they would love to be able to use their tires. They're hoping for another caution. If they get another caution, heck, they'll have fresher tires than the guys ahead of them. So they're definitely not out of this race. But it's not catastrophic here. If there is no yellow, they have enough fuel to make it to the end.
Exactly.
And they probably won't get lapped in 35 laps here. Sorry, 45 laps to go right here.
Well, and as they say, and the cliche always stands, and we've seen it tonight, cautions breed caution. So maybe these guys catch a break, gain that lap back, as well as get some 4 fresh tires. We've seen a lot of these drivers have some difficulty. I do want to point out, it looks like Brandon Sheffield may have got a penalty. He's starting towards the rear of the field in 8th or 7th. So he dropped back significantly compared to where he came in at 7th place. Looks like he is having to let the field go by. So maybe speeding on pit road for Brandon Sheffield.
Interesting. All right. Well, all eyes are up front. 45 to go. Chris Carroll, Parker Brookfield, front row. They're calling the
And
start.
here they go.
Parker's going to get right behind him.
Oh,
and
Chris spins the tires a little bit.
Tyler's able to get into 3rd.
Oh, we got a caution. Bradley
You know
Yo?
what it's for.
Looks like Bradley Yo is the back of the field.
Yeah,
Yep.
he lost it right on the start there.
Yes, he did. Looks like Robbie Harpence was on the apron as well. Not sure what was going on with that car. So we'll take a look at that restart from the rear of the field, kind of figure out what happened.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times right on the start. It feels like maybe.
Oh, looks like Robbie dropped to serve a black flag. And yeah, Bradley Yo just unfortunately spun the tires and lost it.
Yeah, I think maybe Robbie was in incident trouble.
Could be, very much so. But yeah, man. That's unfortunate.
These guys are not supposed to be serving their incident penalties coming to the green. That's a good way of getting other competitors black flagged. They're supposed to serve that penalty the next time by. So this is a little bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, then that could be some of the inexperience there of younger Robbie Harpence, newer to iRacing versus some of these more experienced drivers out there.
I just think it's something wrong in the family.
Oh, man. Shots fired. 360 laps, and I thought this was going great. Now this.
Larry Mack trends of the race says this is going to get more spicy here for the last 40 laps, and Tyler Shattuck has got to be so frustrated with his teammates starting on the front row. This is about the 4th or 5th restart, and he's got normally when you're restarting 3rd, you think you've got a chance at 2nd. But with these leaders talking to each other, that's teammates. That's the advantage of having teammates out there. It's going to be really hard. Like Tyler Shattuck is not going to get this position probably on a restart. He's going to have to go and do it on the racetrack. Just battling.
Yeah, exactly. He is in a swarm of 851 cars, as looks like 5 of the top 6 are currently with the 851 team. Tyler Shattuck with LeDuc Matthews. So yeah, he is up against a wall trying to get this win with 39 to go.
Yeah, holding his own. And we have not seen these guys not save tires. Every single time they've gotten fresh tires, they're thinking long run, long run. Well, right now, they're only going to put 40 green flag laps at most on their tires, maybe even less with yellows. So they're going to drive differently. You drive differently when you don't care about how your tires wear long run. So we haven't seen that. So we don't know who's best at a 40 lap sprint. That'll be really interesting to see.
Exactly. The complexion of this game has completely changed. It's no longer a 400 lap enduro. This is all about less than 40 lap shootout. As our field doubles up, lights out on the pace car. So
don't count out those guys in the 2nd, 3rd row, because these leaders, they're going to be ready. They're going to start using bumpers here pretty soon, and we might see some wrecks up front. And so those guys 2nd, 3rd row, they're not out of this race at all.
Yes, exactly. All it takes is an opportunity to take hold, and any of those other guys could be a winner. Especially somebody like Agnell, who's sitting there in 4th place.
Parker and Chris go at the exact same time as we would expect. And look at Agnell still on the high side of Tyler. Good start for him, but Tyler's going to clear up into 3rd.
Yes, he is. And Brandon Sheffield now making quick work of Zimmy. Oh, sideways coming out of 2. But it hangs on to it. We've seen Brandon Sheffield do that. I don't know if he thinks he's in a dirt late model or an asphalt super late model, but it's Aaron Rodgers now gets into the wall. Been exciting restarts on almost every one of these so far.
Yeah, these restarts have been adventures for Aaron. Aaron does not like these cool tires tonight.
No, not at all. As many of our other competitors, we've had a lot of issues with restarts in this race tonight. But looks like we're going to get off clean right now. It's Chris Carroll, Parker Brookfield, Tyler Shattuck, 1, 2, 3. Whoa, Brandon again, way sideways. Looks like he collected it up, but man, he is putting on a show back there in front of Brian Zimmerman.
That's the end of the race here, and these guys are pushing hard. That's a 400 lap race. You've been saving your stuff, saving your stuff. That mentality's gone. It's done. It's no longer the 400 lap race. This is a 40 lap race.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sprint to the finish, and it's going to be who brought the running shoes for this end of this All-American 400.
You know, I was talking with Agnell about this too. It's hard to flip that switch when you're running a long race and you have a short run to the end and you've had long race mentality. Now you have to switch to I'm using my tires. I'm taking chances, and mentally flipping that switch can be really difficult. And the top three look like they've all flipped that switch.
Yeah, you got some serious veteran competition out there. Between Carroll, Brookfield, as well as Shattuck, each of them have a number of years on the service. Each one of them, 6,000 KAI rating. So they've been the class of the field. Yes, he is. He is making the move for second. Can he make it stick coming off? He comes close to Parker Brookfield.
Parker pinched him. I mean, that's illegal. It's fair. It's taking a chance, but Parker pinched him out of two. As he said, I'm going to give you exactly one car width above that yellow line. And, credit to Tyler for not getting into Parker there. How many times that'll...
yeah, how many times is that gonna happen before you decide you have enough? That's the thing you got to get to at this short of a run of a race.
Parker is playing defense for his teammate right now. Chris, this is a solid race. He is pulling out ahead. Tyler is every bit as fast as Chris. If Tyler could just get around Parker, we could see if he's got anything for Chris. Parker just playing defense for his teammate right now.
Yes, he is. And Chris Carroll, I think he might be a fan of Gibson guitars, as he is looking to collect his first. He is also the leader of the eSPEED Sport short track shootout, which results 3 series. He is the leader in points in all 3 here in Nashville. So we're going to have to call that Canadian Mr. Tennessee going forward if he wins this All-American 400, as well as each championship in the short track shootout.
Well, he's going to have to beat Tyler, I think. I think Tyler is only going to run behind Parker for so long before he uses his bumper.
Yes, exactly. But the risk in that is if you do use that bumper, does that get paid back to you, or does that collect and result in additional damage?
It depends on how much you're willing to finish second or third in this race. I think this is a winner.
Oh, Tyler pulls it down off of for a little bit loose. That's going to lose a little ground to Parker Brookfield.
Yeah, he got those left side tires on the apron. You do not want to cross that yellow line, and that hooked the car to the left.
Yeah, he's definitely using up as much track as he can, trying to get around the 26 machine. As the laps tick down, we are 25 to go to finish out this All-American 400. We do have one green-white checker. At this rate, we'll see if we use it. It's been some really clean racing here at Nashville.
Yeah, what a run by Chris, though, tonight. You know, it seemed like when Chris and Tyler and Parker were all next to each other for the first 300 laps of this race, honestly, I thought Chris was the slowest of the three. He always looked like he was running a little slower than those other guys, but I think at the same time, Chris was saving his stuff the entire time. He was running smart. Sometimes the guy isn't slower, he's running smarter. And the moment he needed to turn it on, look at it, he's gone. And who's led the most laps? Chris Carroll, who's had the highest running position and stayed out of the way. Chris also did a really good job letting people go when there was wrecks and things like that happening. That car is clean, it's pristine. That's just a really smart 400 lap race. It doesn't matter if you're the fastest guy in lap 100 or 200. And I think you're just a really heady race here tonight from Chris.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Carroll's kept that thing clean. We did see him fall back a little earlier around the 100, 200 lap race when he was kind of caught up in traffic. But yes, he's made quick work. And it's been the class of the field. But we have the run for second. Parker Brookfield giving him space. But is it enough? Can Tyler Shattuck complete the pass? He falls back in line.
Did you see that there out of 2, that same situation? That time, Tyler did not stick straight to the bottom. Tyler said, I'm going to use more racetrack here. Pinch me at your own peril. And what did Parker do? Parker had to give him a little bit of room. So these guys are running just a little bit harder than they were just a few laps ago.
Yeah, Tyler needs to make his move as quickly as possible as Chris Carroll's already built out a 1-second lead. Tyler really fighting hard, but it takes so much momentum to...
He just got the wall out of 4 right there.
Oh, that's going to affect him as he drops back 2/10 behind Parker Brookfield. So, yes, laps are winding down. You got to make up all that momentum on Parker and also figure out a way to get around him.
We're on lap 382. These guys have been just battling. These 3 cars, these cars have been the class of the field. They've all found themselves to the front at the end of this race. Tyler is doing everything he can. He is hitting the wall out of every corner, just everything he's got here. But all 3 of these guys have to be commended. I mean, just what a race from all 3 of them. They've been at the front of the pack, they've been at the back of the pack, and here at the end of the race, here they are, all running for the win.
Yeah, it looks like Tyler might be dropping back to cool down his tires to make one last run, but I do have to point out, it looks like Parker's maintaining that lead, if not gaining a little bit on Chris Carroll. Has Parker now turned on the jets with 15 to go to catch Chris Carroll and make that last pass to win this AA 400?
I don't know if he's any faster than Chris right now, but he doesn't have Tyler right on his bumper. And you can drive your own line when nobody's right on your bumper. You can drive a little bit quicker. But I still think Chris is the fastest car on the track right now. But you have to give credit to Parker. What a race he's run tonight. I know he didn't have the same practice that a lot of the other guys did. He kind of figured the car out in that first run, and he's been super strong for the rest of this race. He's had to beat the blocker for his teammate. He's been a team player, and here we are, 400 laps, and the car's pointed forward, running in second. He's got to be happy with how he's run this.
Oh, definitely. Parker Brookfield, definitely a specialist here coming in. Doesn't run a lot of eSPEED sport, but when he does, he's always out front. And one of the tough competitions is Tyler Shattuck now moves to the back bumper of the 26 machine.
Yeah, Chris keeps on inching away. Chris isn't too concerned here. He just wants to see these guys battle. Chris is just going to run as hard as it takes to keep that gap. Whereas Parker, boy, he's in a dogfight here. As
Tyler making the move here. Can he make it? Parker gives him plenty of room, but it's just so hard to stick that spot. Tyler, though, keeping the nose under, is going to drift up a little bit further. Door-to-door battle for second place here.
He's trying here. He's had a little bit of luck there through 3 and 4, but look, he's using more and more track. He's saying, Parker, you are not going to pinch me.
Yes, he's drifting him up, and they're coming up on the lap car of Larry Bell. We'll see how that lap car makes effect as Parker fights on that outside line.
This is great racing.
Oh, fantastic stuff. Looks like Tyler has a little bit of an edge. Close quarters, great racing between these two. Can Tyler seal the deal? As Chris Carroll is kind of walking away with this thing here towards the end. He finally clears himself. Parker gets a little bump, but Tyler is able to clear himself again out there. Can Tyler hunt down Chris Carroll? What a move by Tyler Shattuck.
Yeah, that's a slider right there. He just slid up, took all the racetrack, and he has to come to a stop. He's carrying so much speed on entry that you're absolutely coming to a stop in the middle of the corner, but he comes to a stop right in front of Parker's nose. So Parker's got nowhere to go than to hit him in the bumper, and Tyler clears him. That's how you got to make a pass. That's good, hard racing. Unfortunately for Tyler...
Parker into the wall, drifted up.
He's been snagging the wall about every other lap. They're just pushing as hard as they can here, but they're 2 seconds behind Chris. It would take a caution for these guys to catch Chris here.
Definitely, yeah, as they have lap traffic in front of them. And it looks like Parker Brookfield now pushing that car harder and harder. We saw him catch the wall. I believe like that little contact may have been a little bit harder than we think, because I see a little additional right front damage on that number 26 machine.
Yeah, there's 5 laps to go. They don't care about the fenders at this point anymore. It's just keep that car pointed forward, keep it going fast. Tyler a little bit quicker than Chris right now, but it's not enough to catch him. Parker really did his job of holding Tyler up to the point where he didn't have a chance to catch Chris.
Yeah, with 6 to go, it's going to be very difficult for Tyler Shattuck without taking advantage of a caution or a green-white checker to be able to win this. And then you're asking to restart on that outside line, which is always difficult here at Nashville.
Yeah, but he'd love a caution here, I'm sure. Chris is not going to run any harder right now than he needs to with 4 laps to go.
Oh, let's get back up to our leaders as Tyler Shattuck and Parker Brookfield battling it out for that third spot. Parker using up all that track and getting it into the wall a little bit again.
Well, maybe we can move our camera too up to Chris Carroll here as he's working down the last few laps of this race. And what a dominating performance here. No surprise that he's got this thing looking real good here coming to 2 to go. He's just been solid. He's led the most laps. He's kept his car the most clean. I think he's run a really smart race. He's had good help from a teammate. What more could you want?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Chris Carroll has been the class. He led the most laps, dominated this race for the most part. It's been maybe not the quickest car all night, but maybe played the smartest game, and that's really what it takes to win one of these 400 lap enduros. As Chris Carroll takes the white flag.
Yep, you just need to run the smartest race and be the quickest at the end, and that's exactly what he's done now. He's pulling away from Tyler. Just a perfect race here run by Chris Carroll.
Yeah, you got to credit Chris Carroll, the driver of that 99 USAFirearms.com A51 Chevy as he drifts it, taking that AA400 eSPEED Sport Special race tonight. Fantastic job by Chris Carroll. Hell of a race.
Yeah, it's just a really great drive. Big shout out to Tyler Shattuck, though. I mean, obviously he put on a show out there. He passed so many cars. Parker Brookfield in the 3rd position, Chris's teammate. Great job getting on the podium. How about Agnell Phillip, another A51 guy, finishing 4th, and Brandon Sheffield, top 5. He's got to be happy with that run.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this is anytime you can get a top 5 in as tough a race as this was. I'm sure all those guys are more than excited with what happened, but nobody's more excited than the Canadian, Chris Carroll, with the AA 400 win here at the virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
He is burning it down.
I don't blame him. Fans are on their feet, excited for the number 99 as he takes the win in this one.
You want me to bring him into the broadcast booth?
Yeah, let's put Chris Carroll into the broadcast booth so we can get an interview with our winner.
All right, we'll get Chris in here.
Okay. We'll also try to get Parker Brookfield and Tyler Shattuck to get some words with them on how the end of the race went.
And does Chris have access to this booth?
If we pull him in, I will add the privileges to talk momentarily.
He's not in the Discord, so we can't pull him in.
Okay. Let's get Chris Carroll into the hauler, and then I can pull him in. But again, running through our results, we have Chris Carroll winning it. Tyler Shattuck, strong fight, finishes 2nd. Parker Brookfield 3rd. Agnell Phillip 4th. Brandon Sheffield 5th. Brian Zimmerman 6th. Bradley Yo 7th. Aaron Rodgers 8th. Presley Sora 9th. Larry Bell rounding out the top 10. Jason Jackson comes in 11th. Robbie Hartpence 12th. Thomas Graw, tough luck for him. He ran top 5 there late in the race, but couldn't stick it out. Finishes in 13th. Jeff Kendrick, Ironman of the race, 14th. Gary Smith, 15th. Blake Bond, 16th. Mark Mitchum, 17th. Joe LaPhillip, 18th. Kyle Martinson in 19th. And that rounds up our standings as far as our competition. We have Mr. Chris Carroll in the booth. We'll move him over to the broadcast booth to talk to. Chris Carroll, do you got a copy?
I have a big fat copy right now.
Chris Carroll, congrats on the first ever eSpeed Sport All-American 400 win here tonight. How's it feel being a Canadian taking the All-American race?
Feels pretty sweet, I'm not going to lie. That was was a lot of hard work in it. We worked really, really hard on that scene, and came out that we had a good one there. I think Tyler and Parker were both really, really fast there too. So, but that was a lot of fun, and I'm sweating like a horse.
How much does it take out of you to run 400 laps up on the wheel here at Nashville?
Well, considering I'm fat and out of shape, it takes a little bit. My left leg, I can't feel my my left big toe, and yeah, I'm a little cranky, but it was worth every second.
Well,
Hey,
that's great.
Chris, how much did it help having a teammate up there with you?
I think Parker did a good job there. We were doing good on the restarts together there, and he's a damn good teammate. He moved over for me when I was a little quicker than him at the end, and he didn't have to do that. But we've done that for races in the past for each other, and moved over when the other guy had a better chance to win. And yeah, Parker is the best teammate, the best friend you could probably ask for.
Chris, kind of going looking, recollecting on that race, there was a couple times that, pit strategy, you were caught back there in traffic. How was it navigating some of those maybe slower, more damaged cars and driving your way back up to the front?
We thought that was a risky call. Parker decided he wanted to do that, and I was like, "You're crazy." And I went with him, and somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody got in the fence and held me up, and I knew,
It was Robbie.
getting around Parker is a tough thing to do, and he picked the right lane there, and he was gone. So I figured that was a race right there, and I don't think either of us had gone as hard as we could to that point. I think we didn't really show what we had to the last 100 laps. And we were kind of conserving tires and saving our stuff. So I don't think anybody knew what anybody had at the end there.
Now,
Chris,
when
I remember that moment. And actually, I kind of picked that moment out as maybe the most important moment of the race. And it was Robbie Hartpence. He got into the wall, and you could have been aggressive there and raced Parker, but you had sort of let Parker go, and you checked up. You checked up real big, and it cost you that position. But you kept your car clean in that moment, and we talked about that on the broadcast. That was a good moment of a 400, like racing for 400 laps. And it just kind of, I think that was part of how you're able to win that race was you let people go when you need to let people go, and you stayed out of trouble, and you had the cleanest car of anybody in that top three.
Yeah, I think Nate. I think you're exactly right. When that happened, I actually thought, okay, there goes the race. I gotta either find a way to follow Parker to the front, which I couldn't do, by the way. He was really good out of the gate. And I like you, thought that was over. I thought that was the race win right there for Parker. But then again, Tyler had a really good set. I mean, I held him up really bad the first run. So who knows? But you gotta keep your cool. You gotta keep collected, and you gotta keep that car together for 400 laps. And you have to have that mentality to have a chance to win at the end. And that's what I did.
Chris, kind of looking back as well, this was kind of the key moment. Caution comes out at right around lap 270 or before. Um, you and Parker take fuel. Uh, what we've seen in testing from people was lap 130 was very, very close on fuel. If that caution didn't come out at lap 351, do you and Parker finish the race with gas?
I think we could have saved it. Could we save it at pace? I'm not sure. In testing, it was between 130 and 135, 132 and 135. I don't know. I'll be honest, Rocky. I tested full fuel runs, and I don't know what caused it to run out of fuel or not. I was within 3 laps sometimes. Um, I don't know if it's wheel spin. I don't know if it's RPM. I don't know if you get the setup better, you're going faster. I'm not quite sure. But I ran out at 135 and I ran out at 131. So,
Well,
I
it was
mean,
131. That was exactly, it was 130 green and like two caution laps, so about 131. So you guys were going to make it. I think you had been right on the money, but having the lead that you had, you probably could have saved a lap or two if you needed to.
yeah, I think if it was 131, I was figuring 132 in my head, and I knew I was right on the button. I think at 131, I think we'd have been okay. I would have liked to think we are, but I mean, who knows though that the temperature comes down and you start going faster. I mean, we would have had to definitely keep our eye on it.
And when you guys pit and being back in that traffic, you had 2 big wrecks happen directly in your mirror. So it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I think we played the strategy pretty smart. I mean, we saved as much tires as we could to the end. We went, I think, 135 or 140 laps on our first set. So we wanted to make sure we had some sets banked, and hopefully, it worked out the way it did, and it did. I don't know who spun or how it all worked out, but I saw a big junk in my mirror at one point.
It was the guy that when I mentioned Hartpence and he got in the wall in front of you, and you were able to get around him literally the next corner. That was a big wreck. It's like, it was just smart driving. So good win, Chris, man. That was awesome.
I appreciate it, Nate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, fantastic win, Chris Carroll. I'm sure you're going to take a nice sleep tonight and celebrate all day tomorrow because you are our first eSpeed Sports Special Event winner and getting the first victory on eSpeed Sport Programming Network. So congrats as always, and we'll catch you at the next race.
Hey, thank you very much, Rocky. I'm going to beg my lady for a leg rub, and anytime you can get around Tyler Shattuck and Parker Brookfield, who's one of the best drivers on the planet in there, you done all right. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks for the broadcast, and thanks for putting it on. All your guys' hard work, everybody out there, Tom, and all you guys that put this on. So thank you very much.
Hey, no problem. You have a great night. All right, we'll bring in Tyler Shattuck, who finishes second. Tyler Shattuck, do you got a copy?
Gotcha.
Tyler, strong race tonight. You finished second. Didn't have enough, quite enough to catch Chris Carroll. How you feeling?
Felt good, man. Started as far back as I could, trying to get that Charger award, and felt like I had a pretty good hot rod the whole run. Got up there on, I think it was lap 1 at a turn 2. That big old wreck happened. I don't know. Seas parted, and I somehow made it through there. And then it was just pick them off. I didn't really know on my end what we needed to do for pit strategy or anything, but it kind of played out a little bit better than I thought it would. Just kind of got held up there at the very end by Parker, and just didn't have enough laps to make it happen to get up there to Chris. But it's a fun race other than that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about having 2 teammates right ahead of you. There's a lot of times you're restarting third, and you have teammates ahead of you. They're calling out the restarts, and then you seem like you're a little bit quicker than Parker that last run. But it was difficult to go and make that pass. Did you feel like you were ganged up on a little bit there?
I wouldn't say ganged up because I think they were going to run me pretty fair or as fair as they can without just giving me the spot. But yeah, it's definitely a lot tougher when you got 2 guys starting on the front row in front of you that are communicating and you're kind of out there in no man's land.
Yeah, going back and looking at the race, what was the one thing that maybe prevented you from taking it? I know on some of the pit strategy, maybe it got caught back further in the field that you were planning, or maybe even going for that hard charger award and not getting the best pit box. What do you think could have changed that would have put Tyler Shattuck in victory lane?
I mean, there's a combination of things. I think that hard charger thing had a little bit to do with it. Not everything because it was such a long race. But not. I didn't have anybody up there calculating fuel or anything. I was just kind of throwing whatever fuel I thought would be okay in it. And I guess I misread the rules. I thought there was 4 tires instead of 3, so didn't take that into account either. So I mean, it wasn't just one thing. It was a whole lot of things put together that kept me from being there. It definitely wasn't the car, and I don't think. I mean, there's a couple things as a driver I could have done a little bit better, time the lap cars, but it wasn't just any one thing. I don't think.
I wanted to ask about the setup. I think Chris and Parker
Can I have it?
A very similar, a very similar setup, but you could just tell by just watching the cars that you had something pretty different than what they had. You were kind of getting in a lot better on entry and doing a bigger diamond. They were started doing a late apex. so you could just tell the cars handled a lot different. I was just wondering what you felt about that. Like, did you feel that you guys were really driving different things out there?
Yeah, setup wise for sure. I gotta thank the boys at Leduc Matthews Racing for helping put a good hot rod underneath me everywhere I go in these things, pretty much. Um, uh, Comparing cars, I think I could go anywhere. It's just real hard to make a pass on the bottom work, and I was actually surprised I was able to keep it down there under Parker there at the end as long as I did and make that happen. But um, I think I could go anywhere and be as faster than they were. I just couldn't find a clean hole without moving Parker and for that matter, Chris at the beginning. I don't like moving people too much. I mean, especially in that long of a race. If it was for the win with you or you to go or on the last lap or something, I'd probably give them a little bumper and move them up. But it's not worth it. They're 15, 20 to go, whatever it was when Parker and I were battling, or even way early in the run when Chris and I were.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you ran really clean, and those were really fun passes, and you put on a show out there. I think you probably passed more cars than anyone in the field tonight. So good race there tonight, man.
Yeah,
And thank you, man. Appreciate it.
all in all, great run, Tyler. I know it didn't entirely end up the way you wanted it, but second place in a 400 lap race is always a great thing. Well, we're gonna send you out of the broadcast booth to wrap us up, but great racing as always, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all at eSpeed Sport for putting it on. And again, thanks to Leduc Matthews for putting good hot rods underneath me.
All right, have a good night, Tyler.
You too, guys.
All right, Nate. Well, that was a fantastic broadcast, a fantastic race. Couldn't thank you enough for co-hosting it with me tonight. I think it really went well. What are some of your final thoughts?
I just think it was a great race. I think it was a battle for the lead the entire time. It was getting a caution late in the late in the race, and kind of seeing a shootout at the end. Watching at home who wants to run long races or do iRacing. I think you saw different guys. You saw people understand and approach a 400 lap race well, and you saw some guys who didn't, and that's racing. Some people finish up front, and some people don't. And I think the guys that ended up front really put together 400 laps. It's just hard to appreciate how much work that is behind the wheel to concentrate for that long. That's 800 corners. So it was really cool watching some of these guys put together really good runs, and it's hard to do. And I guarantee you, those guys are feeling good going to bed tonight, like they accomplished something. So appreciated what those guys did for putting on a good race, and obviously ESS and you, Rocky, hosting this. Thomas as well. This was his brainchild. So it was fun. It was just fun to watch and talk about what I was watching.
Yeah, exactly. No, this was a great event. We have some of the cleanest racers on the sim and some of the best racing on the sim. And I think tonight proved it with this 400 lap race with how many cars that were running there towards the end and competitive racing the entire time. Well, I think that. Yes.
And we got a winner to get an interview in. It's good to give the winner an interview. That's really the main thing when it comes to racing, is that the winner gets interviewed. So that's great.
And on that note, I think this wraps up the broadcast, the first broadcast for eSpeed Sport Programming Network. Again, if you like what you see and want to come race with us, please jump to the Discord, follow us over there, keep in touch as far as the racing schedule. We got a lot of great events coming, as well as, if you liked what you saw here tonight as far as the broadcast. I know we got some bugs to work out and some new things coming. This is kind of a trial run. We'll get things worked out and make sure we're good in the future. So with that, those sour grapes, that is Nate Jurgensen. I'm Rocky Harpins. Again, thank you and good night.